sir. The time is now 10 p.m. It's time to start Rated Point 5.
I see. I guess there's no helping it. Time to give the people what they want. It's showtime! All right. Begin broadcast.
Roger. Now linking our broadcast center to some rich guy's satellite. Broadcast on!
Rated Point 5!
God, I love that so much.
I need to, it goes by so fast that I haven't read all of the little things on the screen. I see Cam and Gay.
Do you need anything past that, though? Honestly.
I want to know.
I'm just giving the people what they want to let them know that Cab is gay. Welcome to Grade Point Live. I'm Xavier. Mike is joining us to fill in for Octopops, who is out because his family needs him.
Yes, they needed another giant robot, so they called me.
How's everybody doing today?
I'm all right. Just slapping this cat's ass, just giving it a good old slap. I mean, listen to that. Yeah.
Mike over here playing with his pussy. Unbelievable. In front of our guests, of all people.
Have some shame.
There's shame in this group.
We can pretend.
I think I'm in the wrong place. I'm turning red.
Kemosabe over here like, oh my God, what have I done?
I mean, it's going downhill quick because that intro was fantastic. I love that intro. That I was cracking up. I haven't seen that before, but now I don't know, man. I don't even.
We just got that like a couple weeks ago. I don't know how much money we paid Mike's brother for it, but he was well paid, and we might continue paying him for more things.
Money well spent. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I really would love a couple of alt openings, especially the baby robots idea.
Yeah, we have more coming as soon as we get the details to him and put him to work on it, because we've already got the clips. So, Kemosabe, is that your real name, or is that?
It's definitely a brand. It might be more familiar if I say, "G'day everyone, I'm the man called Kemosabe, the man with the plan from the land down under, and thanks for having me on your show, guys."
That's
I do it again, but slower.
I don't do slow.
Everybody gets one.
But if Kemosabe's too much for a mouthful, I'm happy with Lee. Lee's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Take a lead.
It's gonna be dad jokes for the next hour, isn't it?
God, I hope so.
I'm down. I'm dad myself. I love it. I've got my dad joke license now. I can cringe with the best of them.
Well, there you go.
Heck yeah.
At least we know that he has his arms, because otherwise he'd be named Matt.
Who's in the chat today? Hey, Seth. Hey, Dick. Daniel Parker, how you doing?
I have Michael Beacon here as well, creator of Seven Legions? 7 Legions. Yes.
Yeah.
Only the 7th of Legions.
I work on too much stuff myself to remember things. So if I remember something, it's an accomplishment.
It feels like you got a project coming in every couple of months, mate. Every time I look at your Twitter feed, you're talking about some other project you got coming in.
Yeah, I've got like 4 or 5 books that'll be out on crowdfund this year. So
That's so good. That's the goal.
remembering
Isn't it? That's where I
people
wanna
is
be.
going to be hard by the end of the year. I'm going to be able to be lucky if I remember my own name.
Hey, creatively,
We'll always-
you're living a dream.
We'll always be here to remind you. Don't worry about that.
There you go.
Yeah, creatively, you're living the dream. I mean, that's where I'd like to be, and
Yeah.
hopefully
that's the goal.
things go well. Yeah, that's gonna be this year.
And it all starts with one book. You get one book, you deliver that book, it's in people's hands. You're going to find that core audience of people that like it. Maybe not everybody will come back. You can't help that. But once you've delivered and you've proven, you've got to hope the next time around your numbers climb because more people want to get in on it. And that's the beginning. It hopefully snowballs from there.
Oh, absolutely. And you got to be able to play the long game too. I've noticed, like you
Marathon,
can't
not a sprint.
Yeah, you can't think of everything like the next 3 months. You got to think of the next like 5 years.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, my wife keeps reminding me of that when I pop over to check on my campaign. She's like, it's a marathon. Remember, it's a marathon. We're looking long term, couple of years in the future. Where are you going to be? This is the foundation that you build upon.
Are you at the point where you're checking it every few hours to see if you got a new backer yet?
No, shut up. Is there a phase where you're not doing that? The only time I didn't do that was on the launch stream because I couldn't keep up. After that, I'm just F5. I actually need a new F5 button. I've worn it out on my keyboard.
Yeah, it takes time, but there's a point where you finally relax and you're like, you know what? If it comes, it comes.
Yeah.
And then you're telling yourself, stop looking at my laptop suspiciously. I need to go do other shit.
I'm gonna be
that's
real
right,
with you.
that's
I had to yell at Xavier to stop that during the Peregrine campaign. Like when it just ended. He was looking at it every fucking week, and I was telling him, Xavier, fucking stop. Put the page down.
Yeah,
Like,
it was driving me crazy, and there were points where I had to have a breakdown because the number's not climbing anymore. I guess we're done. I guess
You
that's
do
all right
feel
no
like
further.
that.
That's okay. That's okay. You know?
Not gonna lie, I still have the tab open all the time, and I still refresh it like a couple times a day while I'm working on stuff. Like,
What gets me is a day when I don't sell a single book. If I go a whole day and I don't get a single backer, I think that's a wasted day. I'm like, was I not around the traps enough? Was I not on Twitter enough? Was I not, posting enough stuff? Because I just figure it's about eyes on. If 100 people see it, maybe 50 think it's cool, maybe 30 check it out, maybe 10 consider backing it, maybe 5 actually back it. The more eyes on you get, the better chance you got of casting that wide net. So I'm always just trying to get it in front of people's eyes because I figure if they see it, they see the quality of the work, they're going to be more inclined to want to back it. They can't back it if they don't know about it. But we've hit our funding point, so I'm at the point where I don't have to constantly check it. I just like to make sure that I've got a couple every day just to keep that momentum going.
Oh, absolutely.
JW074 says, "What is this? What happened to the games? We won. Master Chief defeated the Flood and the Coveys, and he blew up Halo, and then he went home because he was on vacation and he was going to Palm Springs."
well, he was pretty tired and needed a nap.
That sounds like a modern Marvel comic plot. I vanquished the bad guys. I'm going to Palm Springs. I'm having a nap. I need to get triggered by a microaggression, and we'll have a coffee scene.
Yeah, but only after reminding the survivors of a terrible threat to follow you on Twitter.
No. Servant of God says, "I might have to start my comic. What are Piper's rates to look at it when I have a draft done?" Well, obviously you want to make sure you get that draft done. It's very important to remember this, and I have to teach myself this and relearn it every single time, is it's not the first draft's job to be good. It's the first draft's job to get done. It's okay if the first draft sucks and is garbage. You're going to fix that later.
Yeah,
exactly.
And if you want to know, just hit me up on one of the social medias or my business, wherever, because I pretty much just, with Comic Gate specifically, I've just been working with them in general. So
there you go.
Oh yeah, Michael Beacon said the audio drama. Guess what? I'm one of the characters.
oh,
Nice.
She cute, but
So it's been quite a week this week. A lot of crazy stuff happening last week, 2 weeks.
Such as?
I'm trying to pull the tweet up. Did you guys catch that Burger King tweet?
Oh God, that is really
that was oh my God. When I'm browsing my phone, I don't usually audibly laugh at things. I just go, that one I literally fell out of bed laughing.
Dude, that whole day I kept using that bold strategy cotton gif over and over on multiple celeb and checkmark account tweets like that.
Mm-hmm.
That were doing stuff like that, and I was just like, this is funny to me.
Mm-hmm. Because
But-
outrage networks are the only way to get 80% to tweet interaction these days. Because look at how many fucking tweets it got before they had to delete it. It was.
Oh, they still deleted it.
They actually did delete it.
Yeah, they did.
Damn. I thought they were gonna stick with it, but I got put in Twitter timeout on the same day for being too spicy myself, I guess.
But was there any considering how woke all the corporations are now and how desperate they are to trip over themselves to virtue signal, did anybody really think that's what they meant? Is there anybody who scrolled through that, saw that tweet and said, Burger King's going to take a shot at feminism because they hate money? I don't know why anybody got angry. Yeah, it's so obvious what do you call it, like a ploy. It's so obviously like a little bit of bait to get you to click and go on to the next bit. And all these people rallying against it, I thought, I bet you they didn't even click on it, look at the next post. I bet there's no way a company that big is going to commit financial suicide by dare saying a single thing against any sort of minority group or disenfranchised diversity hire.
Especially in this particular climate. Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's a nice swing. I mean, it's such good bait. I can't believe someone had the fucking balls. Someone had the fucking balls. The brass balls to take a swing like that. Just
knowing that it could go so wrong. Like knowing there's
wrong.
going to be people who won't read the next tweet, who won't see the context.
There were so many outraged people saying, I won't eat at Burger King anymore. I mean,
Did they currently? Like, how many of them had vegan in their profile?
Right?
Oof, fucking got it.
Meanwhile, all the trad caths on Twitter looked at this and went, like?
Strangely hungry for a burger right now.
Yeah.
Honey, we're going to Burger King. Bring the
Get all 12 kids into the car. Let's go.
Even if they had to take it down, I'm sure, like, nobody's gonna forget this. They're gonna be legend, and that's what matters.
Here's my question, though.
Tweet.
Who on earth has ever said the words, I don't want a woman in the kitchen unless their wife can burn water? Like, seriously.
Wait.
I can't think of the person that would say that. So it's like, why exactly do you need to virtue signal about women cooking?
Yeah, that was true. When I was looking at what it was for and stuff, I was like, yeah, because that's what I think when I think culinary arts. Fucking Burger King.
Burger King, that is some fine cuisine.
you just wanted and you asked for your finest cheddar tendies and mortar sticks.
You guys know that over in Australia, we don't call it Burger King. It's called Hungry Jack's.
Yes, I remember Hungry Jack's.
Yeah, same colors, same sort of branding, but I guess, I don't know, maybe it strikes too close to a former colony of the British Empire to be calling something anything king, so they changed it to Hungry Jack's. Yeah. We call it HJs. You want to go for some HJs?
Interesting.
I thought you'd like that little bit of trivia.
Nice.
I want to go for some HJs.
Reserved seating here at the BK Lounge.
You guys see the epic rap battle, Burger King versus Ronald McDonald?
I did not.
Yeah, no, that's really good. It's really, if anybody wants a chance to check that out. And then Wendy's comes in at the end and absolutely decimates the both of them.
Nice.
It's very cool.
The only way it should end.
Those guys are smart. Their lyrics are, I know they've got a whole team writing for them, but it's just absolutely brilliant the way they managed to say something that's funny, cool, true, realistic, relevant to the characters they're talking about, but also it all rhymes. With not just rhyming at the end, but like that sonic rhyming through the middle of the word as well. That's next level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't believe they still do stuff. I haven't heard any of their stuff in ages. I mean, didn't
I
they?
think when they first started, it was a big deal because nobody was doing that or trying to do that, and it was really funny. And I think they just kind of got, swamped with all the other stuff that's all over YouTube, so you don't hear about it as much.
Hey,
there are big gaps between seasons too. They'll do a season and they'll take like 6 months off and then do another season and take 6 months off. So you only really have a couple of weeks where they're producing content that you can see. They're out of sight, out of mind for months at a time.
They even had some big names come in, and I didn't notice until I was like, I haven't looked over there in a while, and holy crap, Weird Al.
Weird Al. And he's got one of the only verses in the entire show ever that doesn't have any swearing in it. Because Al, he wouldn't, would he? The worst word he ever said was slut in the Forrest Gump parody of Lump.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Impossible Whopper and the trans memes that it inspired for the.
I'm trying to forget about the Impossible Whopper.
Right, I can't believe that thing has more estrogen than a gallon of soy milk. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. There's more estrogen in this burger than in a grown-ass woman.
Right?
Eat your bugs, live in your pod.
Eat your Impossible Whopper, wear your programmer socks.
I tried one because I like I'm not vegan or anything, but I do. There's these vegan burger patties that are made out of like black bean and stuff like that are actually really tasty. So I'll eat them because they're yummy. So I tried the Impossible Whopper, and it is impossible to eat. Oh,
If I go to Burger King at all, I do the Stacker King because they got that Stacker sauce on it, which I think it's the equivalent of like the Big Mac because it's got the Big Mac sauce.
okay, yeah.
Because the Stacker King comes with like bacon on it as well, and that's pretty good.
Over here, they call that the Big Jack. Hungry Jack's, Big Mac, Big Jack.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
On point
The only
for
time
Brandon.
I ate Burger King outside of trying the Impossible Whopper, the only time I really willingly ate Burger King was when I worked there, and I made it myself. I would make my no, I'm buying this, but I'm gonna make it because I don't want y'all touching it.
It took years for me to eat Burger King again because when I was in the military, this was overseas. This might have been because of something that particular Burger King was doing. So you know how the inside of your Burger King bag smells? It smells like Burger King. It doesn't matter what food you get; it smells exactly the same. This is what Burger King smells like.
Yeah.
So I ate my food. A couple hours pass, and then it's time to get rid of the food because it just goes right through you. So I sit down, and it was a bizarre feeling when the bathroom afterwards smelled like Burger King. And it's you have that moment where it's like, never again.
Just like, wait a minute, it shouldn't smell the same both ways. It's going in as it does coming out.
Just never again. And I didn't eat a Burger King anymore the entire rest of the time I was in Japan.
See, I just don't because there's a Chick-fil-A 2 blocks away from mine that's local.
Well, yeah.
I just want
issue-
to Chick-fil-A at all because I live in a restaurant dry area and it's kind of terrible. Oh God! But at least I have a Burger King nearby. That's the one good thing. Ugh.
I live in a dry area too. I have to go out of my way to get pretty much any fast food that's not Taco Bell, McDonald's, or pizza.
So yeah, trips me out. You guys have got so many fast food franchises and chains. We've got like two. We've got McDonald's and Hungry Jack's, and I mean like Pizza Hut, but they've almost gone out of business over here. I don't really count pizza as like fast food. It's not like walk in and buy a pizza and sit down and eat it like you buy a Happy Meal and sit down at McDonald's. You buy a pizza and take it home and eat it. At least you do it here anyway. Like that's it. We don't have. There's like one Carl's Jr.'s in all of Australia. We don't have White Castle. We don't have Chick-fil-A. We don't have Whataburger. We don't have Five Guys. Like we don't have Wendy's. I only know these names because I've seen them online. We have like two franchises and they're both yours, and that's it.
Do you have the Filipino embassy? What is that called?
KFC?
No, not.
Yeah, we do.
The hell?
What?
God damn it! I'll go look up the name. I'll let's see. Okay. Jollibees. Do you have Jollibees?
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of it? Well, it's
Never
I've never heard of it either.
usually it's a Filipino-based fast food restaurant that serves peculiar combinations like sweet sauce and spaghetti and fried chicken. And it's a fast food restaurant. It's not bad. It's not bad. We have one up in my area. And that's it.
Maybe
It's
one's
the same
enough.
because
Maybe that's
honestly,
what it should be.
all anybody needs is a Hardee's, and then they have all of the fast food in one store.
What's a Hardee's?
They have, like,
Junior.
Well,
burgers,
okay,
fried
depends-
chicken. They have all sorts of all of it.
Jesus, they got everything at Jollibee. I mean, look,
Mhm.
I mean, it looks good, but I've never heard of it. No.
fried chicken, apple pies. Is it like pizza?
Yeah. Peach mango apple pie.
Spaghetti?
Yes, spaghetti and sweet sauce.
Who does take out spaghetti?
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a Hardee's. It's got
Or at least how Hardee's used to be like back in the early 2000s.
true. I haven't had
There's
Hardee's.
corn, there's mashed potatoes and gravy, there's burgers.
Yeah.
Look at the bucket of chicken has chicken written on it, just in case you weren't sure.
Yeah.
I want to fake you guys out like you paid for chicken. You are getting chicken. We got you, homie. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
This bucket is only for chicken. What if they want spaghetti and only for chicken?
This is the chicken bucket.
This is the spaghetti bucket. You can
I
get
would
a
eat
bucket
there. That
of
looks
spaghetti
good.
there. It's not bad
Yeah.
from what I hear because I work with a bunch of Filipinos and they were like they They love this fucking store. They love it. They love this restaurant. Also, you want to hear something weird about Hardee's? Depending on which side the state fought in the Civil War, it's called a Carl's Jr. or a Hardee's.
That's true. And what's weird here is I've seen both, which confused me.
Yeah, there's actually certain states where it can be a completely different name, one county over.
Yeah.
Missouri being one of them, because I was there a few years ago, and on the way to where I was going, which was Kansas City, it was Hardee's, and then when I got to Kansas City, it was Carl's Jr. And I'm like, forgot about this.
Yeah, I haven't been to Hardee's in forever, but at least back in the day, it was one of those where it was like burgers or fried chicken or like any of the typical little fast food restaurants, one menu.
Look at this thing.
Yeah, they serve. They focused on they stopped selling basically everything, and then they focused on basically making monstrous food.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find somebody. Here's a picture of somebody holding it.
Looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin is handing you the booth.
Do you accept? But
they're big, and that guy looks like he has a big hand.
Yeah, they are big. I used to get them when I was a trucker because anytime I pass, I think Love's usually have Hardee's in them, but they're also 24/7. And driving late at night, because I always drove at night. When you're hungry, stop by Hardee's, get something to eat. I always got the thick burger, but I don't remember ever finishing it.
You eat like a quarter of it, and you're like, you know what? This is enough American supremacy. I'm going to put this down for right now. I'm going to have a nap. I'm going to dream about crossing the Carl's Jr. line.
There's some about their chicken wing, their chicken tenders too, their chicken strips, where at least the one I went to, where no matter how fresh it was, it always seemed like these have been sitting for a while. Like they taste fresh, but they also taste like they've been sitting for a while.
I'm starting to think that's a Hardee's thing because it's the same.
Like there's a Hardee's down the road from my parents' house, and they would get it sometimes, but I never got the chicken tenders from there. So this could be a Hardee's thing, or just could have been this one out in the middle of the fucking nowhere in Ohio.
Oh, I was about to say, because it's the Hardee's, the closest Hardee's to me in Ohio. It's the one where I'm like, I got every once in a while, I'm like, I'll get their chicken tenders or whatever because I'll forget. and then I'll get them and I'll be like, oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. They are weird because it's like they are like fresh and stale at the same time.
It sounds like they might be freezer burnt.
That's usually the problem.
Probably.
Because that is a problem with frying foods. I would. This is almost a good seg for for Kemosabe's book, I think.
Oh, Kemosabe, you got a book.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll do what I can with it, but how do you make that leap?
Speaking of freezer burnt chicken tenders,
no, I get it. There's a dude who's frozen to death in the first 5 pages. That's talk about freezer burn. That's what I call holy freezer burn, Batman. I'm there. I get it. That was next level. I'm impressed. Fantastic. So here we go. The Company Men, Dead, White, and Blue, issue 1. 60 pages, full color. It's the first issue of a 180-page story. 3 issues spread over the next couple of months. 100% of the art's already done on the book. We've reached our goal, so we've got 100% of the money needed to print and distribute this book.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, "Oh, you're very apologetic when you talk about your book. It's like you're trying to convince people reasons why they should buy it." I'm like, yes, that's my job. My job is to say to you, this is why you want to buy my book. He's like, walk in there with that BD and say, buy my book. No, that's not, I can't just kick doors in and say, buy my book or else. I'm all the way over here in Australia. What am I going to do? All I can do is say, particularly from the US, being handled from within the US. You guys are paying up to half the shipping that you're expected to pay for a regular foreign book. So instead of paying whatever you're used to paying, like you go have a look at the shipping wherever you are, you'd be up to roughly half what you expected to pay. So I'm hoping that's a big saving that you guys, that's going to motivate some of you guys to go, you know what, I like the look of this book. It's only going to cost me half what I'm used to paying for the shipping. I'll go in and I'll give it a go. Because it's all about getting the books into people's hands. And if people see it, people read it, they enjoy it. It's got excellent art. It's got amazing colors. The story's pretty good too, I've got to say myself. Yes, I'm the writer and not the artist. And I got Kelso Mazine from Brazil doing the art, and I got Dio Lima also from Brazil doing the colors. I got Stephen Koch from Sigmate Studios doing the letters, and he's done Transhuman and Terra Olympus. He's delivered half a dozen books himself. Like, he's a pro at the crowdfunding game. So he's an absolute expert at lettering. Like, he sent me these lettered pages and he says, do you know why I did that? And I say no. And he said, I did that because it follows this lettering convention. I'm like, I see it now. I see what like, he knows those intrinsic things that make a lettered page look good, because as you guys know, few things make your book less professional than bad lettering and bad coloring. So I hired people that knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And anybody who backs it from Australia, most of the physical tiers is free shipping within Australia. I'm taking a bit of a hit there, but it's all about getting the books into my countrymen's hands. I'm already lined up to get my books in some comic book stores in Australia. Once they're published, I'm going to send them straight out as soon as I can, so that they're on the shelf and people get a chance to pick them up that way as well. And so we got a couple of variant covers there. We got the Clayton Barton variant cover. He did the art on that. That's on the deluxe edition in the first tier there. And Corey Barton did the colors for it. So it's like a brother power team. And I often joke that if they knew how good they were and they charged what they were worth, I wouldn't have been able to afford them to do that cover, because it's just a fantastic piece of art. And that's the deluxe edition with 80 pages instead of 60. So it's got 20 pages of all that behind the scenes stuff that you like to see, the scripts, the breakdowns, the character concept art, the character progression, character profile, sneak peeks at upcoming company event projects. Got a bunch of other irons in the fire with this as well. So this isn't, people like, they do their crowdfunding campaign and they're like, I wrote this book 15 years ago and this is the story I've always wanted to tell. I wrote this story 10 years ago and it's one of many, 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 many stories I want to tell. But I think it's the visually one of the most interesting, one of the most realized, one of the most immediately impactful. I can ride on Jawbreaker's coattails and get some of that sweet, sweet Zach money, superhuman mercenaries, fighting bad guys in distant remote locations. That's cool, man. That's cool. Same wheelhouse, same Venn diagram. There's a lot of overlap there. My guys are a little bit spicier and a little bit more violent than the Jawbreakers, but I think there'd be a hell of a crossover one day. But yeah, if you like Jawbreakers, you like this. If you thought Jawbreakers didn't go far enough, you'll really like this. So the story is a group of metahuman CIA employed mercenaries. Some of them work for the CIA. Some are just employed short-term, long-term contracts. They're all got different reasons for being there. Like one guy's an ex-mafia hitman, so he's used to killing people for money, but that left him feeling isolated and alone and distant. And combined with the alienating effects of his powers, he felt really cut off from humanity. So the boss, the African-American woman who runs the team, she said, come and kill for me and kill the right people and keep the country safe. Like, if you're going to kill people and you can't help but killing people, do it for a good reason. I'll tell you who to kill. You don't have to think about it anymore. You can just follow orders and know that you're making a difference. Whether or not he actually is, that's something you sort of explored in the book, but she tells him you're making a difference. He's the guy covered in the flames there. His name is Cinder, and he's made up of soot and ash and glowering embers, so he can flood a room with smoke. He can choke people out. He can make them asphyxiate. He can shoot flame and embers at them. His hands burn, so he can burn right through you, stuff like that. It is a really violent book. Like these guys, they operate in these shades of moral grey. I liken it to, if you've ever seen Homeland or Strike Back or Body of Lies with Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe, and that sort of really gritty street level stuff where there might be a guy who's an arms dealer or a human trafficker, but you can't kill him and stop what he's doing because he has information you're going to need next week, next month, 6 months' time. You've got to keep him in the loop. You've got to keep him functioning. So you've got to turn a blind eye to the horrific shit he does because, yeah, he's trafficking 5 people a week or 10 people a day, whatever. But when you get that information, you're going to save hundreds of thousands of lives. So you got to look at the big picture. These guys, I did the quote that I think it was Roosevelt quote about, we're able to sleep peacefully because rough men stand ready to do violence on the people who wish to harm us. Like, this is these guys. These guys do those jobs that nobody else wants to do, that nobody else can do. They operate in theaters that people don't even want to admit exist. Everything's black ops, off the books, clandestine, and that backfires on them because once they find out about a terrorist plot that's going to go down and they investigate it, the CIA actually cuts them off and says, no, we told you not to look into this. You're out, you're burned, you're cut off from the company. We've expunged all records. Not only do you not work for us, you've never worked for us. And then they're out in the cold on their own and they have to clear their name, stop a terrorist attack, and somehow get back in the good graces of the CIA before they get killed by the CIA's own hit teams being sent after them. So the stakes get higher and higher as the book goes on. So you got the scene. Sorry, mate, go on.
I'm sorry. That's a really funny angle. We've uncovered this plot. We know about this plot. What do you mean? No, that's not important.
Yeah, you need to look the other way. Well, you're not. Then you're on your own. See you later. Good luck with that.
You uncovered one of our plots. Go away.
Like literally out the door, get out of here and don't come back. Yeah. So there are, when you talk about stories and the conflicts and the obstacles, if you don't have obstacles, you can't have conflict. If you can't have conflict, you don't have a story. So when you talk about conflict, you talk about death, personal death, professional death, emotional death. It could be your professional death, you're going to lose your job. It could be your personal death, you're going to lose your life. It could be emotional death, you're going to lose a connection to somebody, you're going to lose that person you love. Even like a Western Bridges of Madison County romance type novel still has emotional death when you run the risk of losing that person that you love. So this guy here, this is Jura. He's got ice-based powers. He generates a constant field of intense cold energy, freezing cold energy, and he can't control it. So he's got this inhibitor device that absorbs it, and then he channels it through a freeze ray. But without the inhibitor device, he's a walking ice age. He just freeze everything around him in a second. A bit like Cyclops' optic blast. Without the ruby visor, it'd just constantly be expelling from his body. So he's sent into Africa, into this African nation to assassinate this dictator, and he can't just shoot the guy and kill him because it would look like he's been assassinated. So what he does, he's got a couple of great lines in there. He says, this is the Reverend Tumagokosi. He calls himself a god on earth. If he's a god, why does he need bulletproof glass? He needs it to protect him from people like me. He claims to be a god, but I'm the guy that's going to create the miracle today. I'm going to make it snow in Africa. And he summons an ice storm and channels it towards this guy very slowly, bit by bit. You see the air start to freeze and snowflakes appear on the air, and the guy's hand starts to freeze up and his blood starts to swell and his skin starts to split, and then just shatters all over the stage. You see like the stump of his hand. You can see his intestines spilling out the side there, and then the whole crowd just runs fleeing because they think it's an act of God. And the reason they did that is because just before they assassinated this guy, they come across the son of the original king that was deposed by this guy. They're going to put the son is the new ruler of this land, and he's going to follow the company line. He's going to put through all of America's policies, all their ideas, and primarily amongst this is Kagosi, the guy that was killed here. He was allowing terrorists to fund through nations below him, above him, to nations below him. So he was like a safe passage place that terrorists could filter through to get into the Middle East, and then from the Middle East, Turkey, Greece, Europe, that sort of thing. So they need to stop. This is like a choke point. By killing him and putting their own bloke in power, they're stopping the flow of extremists, and they run that area then. So you read this 5 page, you go, that's cool, it's this political, it's like relevant to like stuff that's happening in the world without necessarily having a political stance itself. But then you realize this is just the opening scene. This is the James Bond intro. This is this guy in the jacket here, Jura, the Iceman, just being a cool MFer. He's just turned up, assassinated this dude, and he gets a call on his little headpiece from the boss. He says, I need you to get over Nigeria. We've got another problem. Solve that problem for me. And you realize this is just this dude's 9 o'clock appointment. This is his first thing of the day. He woke up, he goes, okay, assassinate dictator, go to Nigeria, kill an informant, great. What happens after that? Like he's James Bond. He's on the move. He's constantly on the go. He's always got somewhere else to go and someone else to kill, license to kill. So this is just to brand him and show him he's someone that was willing to kill. He's capable of killing a world leader. And he says that, he doesn't really care what happens to the country after this. His job is just to kill the dude, and then he's moving on.
Yep, pick Annie up from soccer practice at 3 p.m. and then we got to go to Kevin's play, and then I got to give him back to the wife for her weekend.
Yeah. One of the because it's a bit like Suicide Squad in terms of high lethality. In the second Company Man story, Hearts of Darkness, which I've already scripted. I've actually scripted all 4 stories, and each story is 3 books of 180 pages. There's a character in there who is a dedicated family man, and that sort of does cause conflict where he's, trying to like, hey, come to dad and raise your kids and teach them right and all that sort of thing. And he's like, I just got to go and, assassinate a bunch of dudes over in Southeast Asia. I'll be back in a week. It'll be, so there's that conflict there as well. Like I said, each one of these guys in this group has their own reason for being there. For some of them, it's money. For some of it, it's a chance to do some good, the way they see it. For some of it, it's, they just don't want to. Like I said, there's one guy that he just doesn't want to think for himself. He just says, I'm a gun. Point me where you want me, and I'll sort that out and pay me. I don't want to think about it. I had to think about too much about all the people I've killed. If you can just tell me who the bad guy is, I'll lie to myself and believe they're the bad guys, so that I can just keep doing this and keep getting paid, because I can't do anything else but kill people. That's all I'm good at. So pay me for it, and I'll soothe my guilty conscience by convincing myself that they're bad guys. This bottom panel here with the police station in Nigeria, I love how there's bullet holes in the lamppost there. I didn't specify that in the script. My scripts are really super loose, probably closer to the old Marvel method than anything else. I sort of have a little blurb up the top that says this is what happens on this page, and then I have some dialogue, but I don't even break it up into panels. Kelso, my artist, he does all that. He sends me through the breakdowns and like, yes, I'm happy with that, or can you tweak that? But I don't want to restrict him too much. He likes the freedom. He's constantly suggesting stuff. There's a great bit there where the speedster did a huge, ran for to save some people, and then he's there absolutely puffed out, absolutely wrecked, and Jira comes along with a frosty drink and says, yo, stay hydrated, and that was Kelso's suggestion. He goes, well, he's got the ice power, so he could make a cold drink, and even though he's really distant, he doesn't like the speedster because he's a new guy on the team. At the same time, he is the leader, so he's looking after his well-being. So little tweaks like that Kelso suggests, 9 times out of 10, I'm happy to take them on. So put these bullet holes in the lamppost here, and I thought it's a great addition because it shows this is a police station, and someone's opening fire right outside the police station. Like, how dangerous and rough is this place? G'day, Hex. Thanks for stopping by. How dangerous is this place that someone is just going to shoot at a police station or shoot near a police station? This is a sort of lawless part of the world these guys are operating in. And this is where the real story kicks off. They get in there, they've got an informant. The informant tells them, hey, there's a terrorist attack going down. I can't tell you when, I can't tell you where, but it's a lock. It's a guaranteed thing that's going to happen. And it's going to be so big, it's going to draw America into yet another ground war. And you guys can't afford that. You're already involved in a bunch of fronts at once. You really need, so this is where motivation for this. If they don't stop this terrorist attack, it's going to kick off another war. And they've got to dedicate troops, they've got to dedicate money, lives, and blood to stop this from happening. So these guys are a prevention unit. They go in and they stop things from getting any worse than they are, usually by killing everybody in sight. They're pretty brutal and they're pretty ruthless.
So you mentioned Suicide Squad. This actually kind of reminds me of some of Warren Ellis's work as well. Planetary, The Authority,
Stormwatch.
Yep, Stormwatch. What other books were sort of like your inspiration going into this?
Definitely the Ellis stuff, more so in tone and politics, as opposed to like these guys don't operate on that Apollo Midnighter type level. They don't operate on, I don't know if you remember in Authority when they killed a dictator and took over the country and they started delivering food and the whole economy collapsed and they saw the big far-reaching scope of what they'd done. Yeah, they realized they don't have that sort of scale. These guys are more on the X-Men levels of power, so they don't have the ability to affect the world or the country on that big of a scale. They can do tactical things like kill a leader and then see the fallout of that. So definitely all of that Ellis Stormwatch stuff, and anything mercenary, anything to do with small groups of superhumans being used in lieu of masses of troops, anything cynical, anything with that moralistic grey worldview. It leans more heavily into, again, like stuff like Body of Lies, or if you've ever seen that TV show Strike Back, it's very much like Strike Back with superpowers. It's very action-oriented. It's a lot of flat character arcs. Even though these guys reveal little bits about themselves and who they are and why they do what they do, very rarely is it the driving force of the narrative. They're not sitting there navel-gazing and having these big soliloquies going, oh, woe is me, this is why I kill. They're killing. They're out there committing the violence, perpetrating the violence for that big picture thinking. So they're going, if I let this innocent person die now, that might save 10,000 innocent people later on. They do that stuff that, you see those memes where you got to switch there and there's 2 train tracks and both of them are bad options, Yeah. And you're hesitant to pull the switch either way because no matter what happens, it's going to be bad. These are the guys that will pull the switch without thinking twice, without blinking. They go, well, that's clearly better than that. Or even more easy for them, I've got my orders. My order is to pull the switch onto that track. These people die, these people live. Don't ask me why that happens. I'm just following orders. So there's definitely that sort of mentality. And I set that up because it all falls apart once they get burned by the CIA. Once the government says, no, you don't work for us anymore. Well, we don't have anyone to give us our orders. It's not like these guys lack autonomy. They can't do anything themselves. They're all mercenaries and operators before this happened. But without knowing what they're doing is actually right and sanctioned, they have to second guess, they have to think twice. When they first get burned, one of the dudes, the teleporter, Gates, see what I did there, Gates, and he teleports because he makes gates. Thanks, Micah. You're a brother. Appreciate it, brother. Because he's a teleporter, he can move whenever he wants. He's like, I'm out, I'm going to Honduras. You guys will never see me again. I don't want to get my throat cut and stuffed in a dumpster. I'm not messing with the CIA. And this guy here, Jura, the leader, he's got to pull them together and say, all right, I know we don't always get along. We're not always friends. We sort of work together and we've got this rotating cast, but we're all in the shit now. If one of us leaves and that person gets picked up, they're going to dog on the rest of us and we're all in trouble. We have to stay together. We have to solve this. If you want to leave afterwards, that's on you. But right now, what we've got to do is make sure that we clear our name, stop this attack from going down, and get back in the CIA's good graces so they won't kill us. We need to get them back on the payroll and rescind that burn notice. So again, you've got that professional death, you've got that personal death.
So you have tiers and product. Tell us about it.
Oh, there's plenty of tears spilt. No, it was a very, very painless process. I just got an artist who was good for the job, and we just started every week. He'd send me 5 pages, and every week I'd pay him. So they got the deluxe edition there. These are all strange that this is all in Australian dollars. You think it would? I got the USD under the bottom there. There you go. So again, this is 80 pages. When I talk about it being a 60-page story, that's 60 story pages. So the page you're seeing right there on the screen, that's page 1. There's 60 story pages. It actually ends with like a 12 to 15 page battle right at the end. 2 super teams come together and just kicking the hell out of each other for a dozen pages. It's fantastic. You just don't see enough of it. There's no one-hitter quitters in this book, and that actually ends the book in the. If you think about the 3-act story structure, that ends the book on the point of no return, where you go through the door and you leave behind the old normal and you're in the new normal. They can't go back to a world where they didn't know about this attack. They can't go back to a world where they don't have to take action on this thing. They're now in this new world, and the new normal is attack is going to happen. You guys have to do something to stop about it. Breathing is just a concept for me. I have gills. No, actually, I used to play the didgeridoo so I can circular breathe. But I'm not. I fell out of practice, and it's very physically taxing. Like to play the didgeridoo for like a minute is like run around the block a couple of times. So you've got to really train and build back up to it. So you get 60 story pages, ends in a fantastic big battle, ready for the next issue. So this 80 pages is 60 story pages and 20 pages of all that cool backup stuff. You've got the Clayton Barton cover with Corey Barton colors on top of it. And that, that's the best of the best, perfect bound, all that sort of good stuff. I'd love to do like some UV spot or some sort of holofoil or something. We'll see how we go with stretch goals and money and that sort of thing. I'd love to give it that extra touch just to make it a little bit more primo for the backers. That's the feature tier, and I think we've probably sold more of that than just about anything else, which is really cool. It is a little bit more expensive than the standard one, but it does have that better stock cover. It does have the Clayton Barton art on the cover, which is just, I don't know, there's a bigger picture of it down later if you want to have a look at that later. It's absolutely fantastic.
Where is that? Is that it?
Right there.
That's the one.
Ooh.
And it's just so pretty. I look at her all day. It's fantastic. I've got so much good art from this project, just commissioning people and a little bit of fan art and stuff that's come through. I got a fantastic piece by Dax Martian the other day that I can't wait to show people. It's just, his stuff is just so fun, so retro. One day I'm going to convince him to draw a book for me. I mean, I'll pay him. I'm not going to threaten him or anything, but I'll get him out of that shell and he'll do a book for me. I reckon whoever
draw my book for me. No,
or else
I implore you to reconsider.
Nice.
Hey man, threats work for me. Don't look down on it.
I often say whoever gets Dax to draw a book for them first has got a hit on their hands, because people are going to just trip over themselves to back a book that he's drawn. His stuff is so good. That one there, that next one down, that's Renzo Rodriguez cover. So you know him from Thomas Valiant and the work that he's done with Zach on Splato Comics. He did a variant cover for me. This is actually the secret perk. This is where if you signed up ahead of time, you get a secret link, and then you could back this one and get this particular cover. What I really like about this cover, and Renzo did this completely unintentionally, he didn't mean to, but he managed to tell a story about all the characters right here where they're standing. Like his position and placement tells you who they are as people. So you got the boss up the front. She's a leader. She runs things. She's the one character who's in every single book all the way through, all 12 issues. She's in the whole thing. And she runs things. She's got complete control. She reports to the director. The director reports to the president. So there's a very sort of flat hierarchy there. On either side of them, you've got Abbott and you've got Jura. Abbott's the big guy with the mohawk. He's the Captain America of this world. He was grown in a lab for the express purpose of killing Hitler. So he's grown. He's like 6 weeks old. He's super huge, strong, peak human, everything. They cover him in red, white, and blue regalia, chuck him on a plane, send him over to Berlin. The second he steps off the plane, his boot hits German soil. Some soldiers run up to him and say, "Oh, sir, crazy news. We just found the Fuhrer. He shot himself in the head. He's dead. Died in a bunker." And Abbott's like, "Well, what am I going to do now? I'm 6 weeks old. I was grown to be a superhero. I was grown to be a hero that kills a villain, a good guy that killed a bad guy. Now he's dead. What am I going to do with myself?" So he's been disenfranchised from that time, and he ended up returning to America and just traveling back and forth across America on his Harley, and become like this big burly biker dude, real blue collar, real salt of the earth, Rust Belt type sort of thing. He's just a very down to earth sort of guy. He's a lot of fun to write, and so he's on that side, and you got Ajura on the other side, who's the ice guy. They're both on either side of her like bodyguards. Because they both love her. Abbott loves her like a little sister, and Jura has romantic feelings for her. So they're closest to her because they're the most loyal, and they're the ones that'll fight, die, and kill for her. On the other side, you've got the guy in the blue Ramjet. He's the speedster. He's the new guy. He's just joined the group. So you can see him sort of edging in there like, hey guys, I'm one of you. I'm a superhero too, right? In this world, it's actually illegal to be a metahuman and American. So if you are, the best way to get past that is to sign up and become like a superhero. They fit you out with a code name and a spandex. They send you off to a war zone. You get off the plane. You're like, that's great. I can't wait to be a superhero, just like in the comics. And there's people being tortured. There's black sites and there's waterboarding. And you think, this is not what I was sold on. But you got no option because you're not an American citizen. You got no rights to come back. You got to do your time. You got to do your service before you can come back in. They don't expect these guys to live that long anyway.
The recruiter lies. Story of my life.
No comment. He's trying to edge his way in there and, be part of the team. Right up the back there, you've got Cinder, and he's this burning man who can't die. He realizes he's not getting any older. Every time he gets hurt or killed, he just regenerates. Like his whole body's just ash and soot and cinder. If you've seen Infamous Second Son, he's got that ash flame power. It's like that, or a bit like Dorian Gray in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie with like the ash coming out of him, that sort of thing. Like you just can't kill this guy. It doesn't matter if you to cut him up into inch-sized chunks. You give him enough time, it will just come back together. So he realized he can't die, and in that way, he's sort of detached from the rest of mankind. Like he doesn't feel a connection to them, which is why when the boss said, "Come and kill for me, I'll give you purpose, I'll give you reason," he jumped right on that. He just follows those orders. So he's detached from the group a little bit over to the side, part of it, but still removed from them. Then right up the back on the other side, you've got Gates with the cigarette. The teleporter, he's completely mercenary. He's just there for a paycheck. As soon as things go wrong, he's like, I'm out. I'm going to teleport out of here. You guys can't stop me. I can do whatever I want. So in that regard, he's at the back thinking, look at these wankers standing around for their big superhero moment. And he's up the back having a cigarette, and he's just too cool for school. And I think it's amazing that Renzo managed to I don't know, glean that about the characters. I didn't even talk to him that much about the personalities. It could be my interpretation and reading into it, but it works perfectly. For something to come together so neatly to dovetail like that is a thing of beauty.
This guy is Gary fucking Oak. When things get tough, smell you later.
I'm going to write that in. I'm going to have him say smell you later.
Oh, that would be great.
No, this composition really captures the essence of all of that. Their dynamic.
No.
So you have the family on the right, the lieutenant on the left. Yeah.
Does she have a robot hand?
She does. She lost a hand after a mission that went wrong. And when she come back after being a POW for several years and got back, wasn't allowed back in the field, so she works from a desk, but she got a bionic hand, and it's not bionic or cybernetic in terms of, look at Cyberpunk 2077 or something. You got this cybernetics integrated. This is just plug and play, just pops on, does its thing, comes back off. She can use it to hack. She can use it as wireless. It can create a small force field. She can use it to discharge like a taser blast at close range. It's strong enough to block bullets, but it's not super strong beyond what it can do, because if she was to pick up a car with it, it'd just pop off her stump, wouldn't it? Like it doesn't. It's not connected to her really. It's just sort of like a fancy glove that sits on there, and it can actually transform into a little drone and go do recon and come back and reattach and stuff like that. So
it's more of a Gods of the Iron Hand prosthetic rather than as you said, cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Okay, that's neat. Let's see.
Let's go back up to your tiers. See what else you're selling. All right. Well, what's this?
Okay,
Nice.
You got a feature that's good.
Yeah. So you got the this is the digital version here. All the physical versions come with a digital as well. If you get that deluxe edition that's up the top there, you get a digital with that. If you get the standard below this, you get a digital with that. My reasoning is, if you see the price of the digital and you see the price of the standard, you think, well, why not? Why not go in a little bit more, especially with that cheap shipping, especially if you're in Australia, that free shipping. Why not? So you get the digital, that's just 60 pages straight up. Here's the standard with the digital. Again, 60 story pages. I mean, there's going to be a credit page and a thank you page and that sort of thing, and you've got to print in certain multiples of certain numbers, but 60 story pages locked in 100%. Because like I said, all the art for this is done. Like, something I'm really proud that I can boast about is that Kelso is actually working on the art for issue 2. I'm getting pages from him for issue 2, and issue 1's not even out yet.
Oh, wow.
So this, all this stuff is budgeted. The only thing this campaign is really for is to pay for the printing and the shipping of the book. Everything else, because there's a little graphic on there somewhere, and it says, what have you actually got done? 100% of the art, 50% of the colors, 25% of the letters. The colors and the letters that's remaining, that's budgeted for separately. That's not coming out of this campaign. I don't need to wait until the end of next month when this campaign's done to pay for that to happen. I'm still getting colored pages come through to me from Dio every couple of days now, whenever I can pay him. So all that stuff's budgeted separately. I wanted to instill a sense of trust in the people that are going to back, because I'm an unproven creator. Some people might know I've got a YouTube channel where I do critical reviews of indie comics and CG comics, but that's about it. Like, I don't have a big platform. I don't have this bombastic personality that people are going to pay money to back my book, in part because they just like who I am. So I wanted to say, hey, all the art's done. Everything else that needs to be done is budgeted for separately. That you're just paying for it's really just a pre-order, print and distribution.
I would love to have the kind of money where I can just pay for my book, and the campaign doesn't matter. The book is paid for already. If GameStop keeps going the way it's going, I just may, though.
Congratulations. Somebody said to me, how did you manage that? And I said, I married up. It's actually
Oh, you star.
I'm punching above my weight.
Note to self: get rich wife.
Tell about living the dream. She's fantastic. I couldn't keep working after the COVID, and she said, well, look, I'll go back to work. She earns a fair bit more than I did when I was working anyway. She was up with the kids, and she said, well, look, maybe it's time I get back to work. And she did, and she said, look, we've got a bit of extra money while I'm working on top of what, we were getting by on what I was making. She brings in more than that. She said, why don't you use some of that extra money to make your comic and make it happen? I also write novels, and I'm putting novels and stuff up on Amazon soon as well. But I think that's definitely a long-term thing. Like, you got to build that back catalog. You got to get your income funnel. You got to work towards that sort of serialization and stuff. Whereas something like this is something that you could do, and it's visual and it's immediate. And it can be in people's hands within a couple of months, and it's tactile, physical. They're holding it, going, "This is a cool book, and I want another one and another one after that." So I've thanks. I borrow ideas. I appreciate that, mate. I definitely want to focus on this now. Once this is getting shipped out to people, then I can sort of shift my focus back to my novels. I've got a half a dozen of them written. I just got to get some cover art and get them put up on Amazon and all that. But that marketplace is just getting so crowded at the moment. I'm a bit shy to want to actually get started on there, because I'm afraid it's not going to. Again, it's just that long-term planning. You really got to put your novels up and go, okay, these will make money for me in 6 months or a year or 3 years, or once you've got that back catalog.
Eventually, it's going to hit, but in the meantime, I got to deal with a couple bucks here and there, but that's fine.
Yeah, and you got to keep writing, and you got to keep updating. You got to keep having the next installment, because the few people that do buy, I really like Chuck Dixon's Levon Cade books. Absolutely love Chuck Dixon's Levon Cade novels. If one comes out on a Tuesday, I've bought it and read it by Wednesday afternoon. As soon as it comes out, Amazon tells me, bam, I bought it. He gets my $7 every time. But he's but also if he didn't have another one come out, I'd probably forget that it exists until Amazon gives me another ping. Conversely, he's got a whole other series of books, which is about time-traveling bounty, gold treasure hunters, time-traveling treasure hunters. I don't even know. I don't know what it's about, because as soon as I heard time travel, I noted out of there. But Levon Cade, Mac Bolan Punisher type character, Jack Reacher type character, shotgunning bad guys in the face, that's what I'm all about. He gets more money every time, but he's got to keep coming back and putting another book out, or there's so many other people doing what he's doing, he's going to fall off the radar. And that's what I mean. Once you get started on that Amazon track, once you get started on that prose track, you've got to keep making that a priority. So I wanted to get this out, get this done, get it sort of powering under its own energy. The money's there. I just need to make sure it keeps getting paid once the campaign's done and printed. And that's the other thing is the shipping's being handled, like I said, within the US. So RJ from Critical Blast, he's actually, I'm going to bulk ship a bunch of books over to him, and then he's going to distribute it to you guys in the US for cents on the dollar. He's got this great spreadsheet that breaks down exactly how much it costs. He was able to tell me per book from my house here in New South Wales, Australia, exactly how much it's going to cost to the cent to get a book to somebody over there in the US. It's like so many dollars and 2 cents. He had it right there in a formula and everything. And that's bagged, boarded, Gemini mailer, thermal wrap, padded package, everything, the whole deal. So he's got a hell of a setup over there, and that means that you guys pay cheaper shipping, and I don't have to worry about the fulfillment. Even if it's, I've heard people say, if you get less than 500, less than 300, less than 200, some number, you may as well fulfill it yourself. Or I can pay RJ to do it, and I can get back to writing.
There you go.
Win-win.
Nice.
I think once people see how quickly and how immediately these books get out, once the campaign's done and it's printed and it's in your hands, more people are going to be going to RJ and say, hey, I saw what you did for chemo. You ever see that meme where that guy's praying? He says, Lord, I've seen what you've done for the dinosaurs, and I want you to do the same for me. Yes. I love that one. I'm still waiting for a chance to use it. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I've got it there saved in my extensive meme folder. People are going to go to RJ, see what you did for Kemosabe, and I want you to do the same for me. Can you get me my book shipped out to people for that low price? It's going to be even cheaper for you guys in the States. If you go through RJ to do your shipping, you're going to be paying probably a third what I'm paying, and what I'm paying is a half of what you guys are used to paying. It's it's a fantastic setup. I'm actually thinking about doing something similar here because his formula and his setup, as he said, is available to anybody. So if we can get me doing it over here in Australia, somebody doing it in the UK, someone doing it in Europe, I can do it to NZ, to the land of the long white cloud just below our southern neighbours. If we can get that sort of network happening, then that's going to reduce costs for everybody across all indie books, across all CG books, and then everybody's going to benefit because, we all know that one of the biggest impediments to a book doing really, really well is the shipping. If we can minimise that, everybody wins. We win, the backers win, the customers win. It's got to be the plan. It's got to be the goal.
Oh yeah. It's good to have friends. That is for certain. Because I can say that without talking about myself too much. I'll just say it's definitely one of those situations where if you have people that you can lean on, it makes the entire process of getting this business rolling that much easier. We need to continue on tiers though. So sure. Xavier, what do we got next?
Let's see. We're in the physical 3-pack digital.
3-pack plus a digital copy. Like I said, all the physicals come with the digital anyway. Why not? It'll tag there that says "Don't pirate me, bro," but it's going to happen. I can't do anything about that. At least the book gets into more people's hands. That's the way I'm looking at it. Marathon, not a sprint. So you get all 3 versions of the book here. You get the Kelso Mazine cover, which is that iconic one of the characters standing in the middle of a battle zone that everybody's probably seen on my Twitter 1,000 times. And I still love it every time I see it. When I first saw that cover come through, that's when I'm like, this is really happening, guys. Like, I'm really making a comic. This is insane. This is insane. And that's the one. That one there. I think it's just, I mean, you could be a smart ass when I say this and go, it sucks. But I haven't heard anybody who's come across that and not said, wow, that looks great. No one said, that's all right. Or,
no, that is a good first issue of a teen book cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's you want to have your people doing something. If they're just kind of standing around, it's boring. This shows you, hey, things happen within this comic book. You should buy it. It's a simple message, but it works.
And everyone's doing something relevant. Oh, g'day, Liam. Everyone's doing something relevant to what they're doing. Jura's aiming with his ice gun. Boss is doing her mad hacking skills. Ramjet's running. Abbott's looking absolutely huge and swole. Cinder's on fire. Gates is teleporting cars into some people. One of his favorite tactics is to teleport material inside of somebody and fuse it to them and kill them instantly like that. Ooh. Like he'll take the bullets out of your gun and teleport them into your own head and into your brain.
I love that idea.
So you're saying he's a ninja?
Do not start with the Gordon stuff. No, bad Xavier, no.
Anyway, moving on. G'day, Bandito. Nice to see you here as well.
That was one of our favorite bits too.
The triple pack's the only other way now to get that Renzo Rodriguez variant cover, which it's got that great planetary energy. They're all standing, they're all looking tough, they're all looking cool. If you didn't sign up ahead of time, the only way to get it now is through that 3-pack. And getting a 3-pack is actually $10 cheaper than if you buy them separately. So even it's a lot of money you putting towards this triple pack, you're still going to end up saving money and again, cheap shipping. Like if you add the amount of shipping this costs onto the triple pack, you're still probably only paying about as much as if you bought 3 books separately.
Nice. Okay. And then we've got original art pages available as well.
Yeah.
For 154 US. So if you're an art collector, just let me say, like, that's for art of this quality, that's really good.
Yeah.
And because it's a 60-page book, I've got enough pages that I can pick all the not that there's any bad pages, but there's pages of people standing around talking because they need a bit of exposition. They're sitting there at the coffee going, oh, this terrorist, there's this great bit where they said, oh, you told us about this terrorist attack. And she goes, isn't that convenient? Don't you think it's a bit convenient? This guy whose testicles are on their way to an appointment with a car battery and some jumper leads all of a sudden comes up with a terrorist attack plot to try and get you to spring him from a Nigerian prison. They're like, nah, we think it was the real deal. Plus he's dead now, so it doesn't really matter. It's because there's so many pages, I can afford to give you guys the good action pages. I'm not going to give you the standing around talking pages. Anybody who gets this is going to be getting one of those cool Abbott tearing some dude's arms off, Gates teleporting some rebar through some dude's eye socket pages,
Yeah, these are the kind of pages you can frame and put up on your wall on their discussion pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's happened here, though, potentially is one of the giveaways, one of the bonuses I was doing if you signed up was Kelso is sending me, it's in the mail, 10 pieces of art, 10 pieces of 10 pages from the book over that I was going to do a raffle and give away to people who signed up. But you had to sign up and back a physical tier, because if you don't back a physical tier, I can't put your artwork with your comic and send it to you. I'm just sending you a page. So if you signed up and you backed the book, you had a chance at winning original art. There's 10 pages to win. If I did the art draw the day after I launched, then there's a bunch of people who signed up that had the potential to win that maybe didn't have their pay packet yet. They couldn't back the book. They'd lose that chance to win the art. So I thought, I've sort of backed myself into a corner. I've got to give them enough time to back the book to have a chance to be in the raffle to win the art. But the longer I leave it, just say you think you've got a chance to win the art, you're not going to go buy an original page, are you? There's still a chance you could get the art. So I don't think anybody's gone in on it because they're like, oh, I signed up. I've got a 1 in 10 chance or whatever the chance is of getting one of these pieces of art. I'm going to hold out and see if I get that. So I think I've sort of miscalculated here. I've got a list of all the people that are eligible because I put a cutoff date and I sent that email out to people a while ago. They had a couple of weeks notice. They had a cutoff date. If they're backed by March 5th, they were going to go in the draw for this original art. I've got all the names, all the backers. I've got the backer numbers. I've got it set up ready to go like a lottery. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the dice on those numbers. And if a number comes up and it corresponds to your backer number, you've won a piece of the art. So that's how it's going to work. And I'm going to be doing that in the next 48 hours. So once that's done, hopefully anybody who didn't win the art that wanted to get some of the art will then take another look at getting one of these pages. I think I really shot myself in the foot by giving away art before people had a chance to buy the art.
Well, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Every
Right?
campaign's a learning experience. We've learned
yeah.
a lot
Yes.
ourselves. We've learned a ton how to do stuff. So
To
sometimes
say the least. Whew.
One thing we learned is sell posters.
Yes.
yeah.
Also, if you're gonna sell the good posters, sell them longer than a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
He's not here to defend himself, so
And I'm not going to argue because I made the smart choice and you guys know it.
yeah.
See, we all learning a lot just from trial and error.
I said it. There's a Matt Krotz who does Kyrie. He made that comic Kyrie, that Roman one. Fantastic, beautiful European style book. He had a thread about learning from making comics and the crowdfunding experience. And I said it was like becoming a parent again. Like when you're a parent, you learn all this stuff you didn't even know you needed to learn. Like you say, I've got to learn how to organize food for them and feed them and change nappies. I know I need to learn that stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't even know I needed that I had to learn on the fly. I feel the same thing here. It's like having another kid and they're rambunctious and rowdy and they're constantly doing the wrong thing. And I have to learn all this new stuff on the fly. Like I said, it's a hell of a learning experience. And there's you can have gurus like Rob Arnold and that come around and talk you through stuff. But there's just some stuff you're never ever going to be able to predict. Like something happened to me was last year. Because in Australia, if you want to do anything, if you want to get your license, if you want to get payments for your children, if you want to get immunized, whatever, you've got to go through the MyGov website. You've got to they've got a website and all your particulars go through that, your birth certificate, your passport, everything. They got hacked and 600,000 Australians got their identity stolen, mine included. So they got copies of my passport, birth certificate, all that stuff. Jeez. So there's like some Chinese hackers over there with my identity. And it wasn't until 6 months later the government sent me a letter saying, oh, look, this has happened. You might want to do something about it. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? I just, shut everything down and get new everything, new bank account, new birth certificate, new passport. So that, I think they only sent the letter out 6 months later because they realized they were going to get caught and they couldn't cover it up and they couldn't hide it any longer. Sure. And they're like, oh, man, too many people knowing about this. Too many people had scams. We've got to just admit we got hacked. So, yeah, sorry, guys. I got the letter in like October or September and it happened back in March of last year. Like, yeah, 6 months ago you got hacked. The information's been out there for a while. Our bad.
Good Lord.
What else got?
No apology, nothing.
Hey, Scott.
So that's just something you can't predict, and that set the book back 3 months. Like you guys probably have this book in your hands by now if it wasn't for that. But it's 3 months I couldn't use my bank account. I couldn't pay people. I didn't have birth certificate. I wasn't a citizen. Like I had to new license, everything. It was an absolute hassle. And they just buried the whole thing. Like you won't even find a lot of. I have trouble even to this day finding an article about it online, talking about what happened a year later. So learning experience, and then there's that stuff you just can't predict. So I've got a December delivery date on this, but I'll be damned if you guys don't get it months earlier than that. That's just giving myself plenty of lead room because I do not know what's going to happen. 100% art done, 50% of the coloring done, all the other money for this work, for this book, is budgeted separate to this campaign. I'm still paying the artists right now. Like, it's happening. It's a lock. Even if I didn't raise a cent on this book, it would still get made. I don't know how to distribute it. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably do some sort of website pre-order thing. But anyway, it didn't happen, and it's here on Indiegogo, and it's doing well. So you got the traditional character art here. This is Kelso Museum will draw you a one-of-a-kind individual pen and ink traditional character picture, any character you want, whether it's your character, my character, a character that exists, Batman, Cable, Phoenix, Rachel Summers, Kitty Pryde. I'm just on an X-Men bent right now. He can draw anyone. He can draw anything. He's an absolutely amazing artist. He's incredibly talented, and he's happy to do a bunch of original art pieces for people. I've seen other people do this where they had, like Stephen Koch, for example. He'll get his artist to do a half a dozen pictures of Batman, Scarlet Witch, whatever, and he'll have those up there as a premium product, and there's one of each. And people add that as a perk to their pledge. I might be using Kickstarter terminology. So maybe that would have been a better way to do it. Maybe it would have been better off getting Kelso to draw a bunch of stuff first, and then have that there so they can see what they're actually getting.
If somebody wants to buy this and get him to draw a peregrine, you'll be my hero.
Ooh. Yeah, mine too.
And below that, we got the cover, the original cover art, which I'm really loath to part with. It looks so good. It's such an iconic piece of work for me. I really want it right here above my computer so I can look up and see it every time I look up and remember that's where it all started. Because, like Micah said, 5-year plan. In 5 years, I plan to have a dozen books out and going. I've budgeted for it. I've worked it out ahead of time. Like, I know what I want to do. If everything goes according to plan, when does it ever? But if everything goes according to plan, in 5 years' time, we'll have a dozen books with my name on it. So it'd be nice to look up and look back at this original piece of art and see this is where it all started from. However, if somebody did want to buy it, that's a big chunk of change towards what I'm doing. So I'm thinking big picture. I'm thinking long term.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
And then sadly, the Clayton Barton signed print has sold out. So you guys missed the boat on that one.
Yeah. So because Clayton works digitally, there's not an original piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to print it out as big and as high res and as nice and as pretty as we can. Clayton's going to sign it in something shiny and sparkly, and then it's going to get shipped to you. It's the only one that's ever going to happen to. So it's as close to an original piece of art as we're ever going to get. I wasn't sure if people were going to go in for that sort of thing.
But
But
turns out somebody did.
yeah, the first day, like it was like back in number 8 or something, grabbed that up. So I'm really, really grateful for that because it was a nice little jump, a nice little chunk of change there to put us over the line. This book was backed in, was fulfilled in 3 days. We hit the goal in 3 days, which I was really, really proud of.
Yep, and you
That's
still
awesome.
have plenty of time left too. I mean,
How much you got?
Well, I went in for 2 months. People do that thing where they do a month and then they're like, we only got 2 days left, guys. You got 2 hours left and the campaign's over. Whoa, I did another 30 days. Everybody
Now,
does
man.
it. It's not bad business. It's not bad business. It's good business. I didn't know that was a done thing. I'm just like, why would I do 30? Why wouldn't I just do 60 days? And I did it. And like the same day, someone's like, I think it was Greg actually, Greg Levitre of Gun Demon, who I'm in cahoots with. He's giving me like this virtual slap up the back of the head with more profanity than I'm going to say. He's like, what are you doing, man? Why didn't you do 30 and 30? I'm like, 30 and 30, 60. He goes, no, this is how it works. I'm like, wisdom. So my bad. But it's just telling how it is. 60 days and when it's done, by that time the book will be done and I'll be able to print it and I'll be able to ship it out to you guys as quick as I can. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Bendito. I appreciate that, man.
Now, you have a trailer.
I have a feeling we should play that.
indeed.
We probably should. Let me know if you can hear this. I thought I shared audio.
I can hear.
You can hear it?
Yes.
Cool.
Hey, we
So
know
many
a guy
people are
named
disappointed I don't actually look like that guy.
No guy
G'day
with
everyone, I
that
am the
name.
man called Chemo Sarby, the man with the plan from the land down under, and I'm here to talk to you about the Company Men, Dead, White and Blue. The Company Men, Dead, White and Blue adds the action of Suicide Squad to the intrigue of Homeland and Body of Lies. It's strike back with superpowers. In a world where being superhuman is illegal, they are America's dirty little secret. A CIA-funded prevention and response unit on paper, but in reality, a superhuman hit squad protecting the nation's interests in the Middle East. They receive information that a terrorist attack is imminent, one that will affect even the United States. They follow every lead in a desperate race against the clock to stop it. At every turn, they are betrayed and attacked by enemy and ally alike, until a final showdown tests their loyalty to their country, their job, and each other. This 60-page full-color book is packed with action and intrigue. It's the first issue in a 3-issue story totaling 180 pages, and the language, violence, and concepts are aimed at an adult audience, with a story that is layered and involved. This story, titled Dead, White and Blue, is the first arc out of 4 stories that tell the complete Company Men saga. All the pencils and inks are completed, and about half the colours and letters are done as well. The remaining colours, letters, and the setup of the digital file is budgeted for separate to this Indiegogo campaign. No matter what happens, this book is being published. Fulfillment is being handled independently by RJ from Critical Blast Logistics. Now, you guys know RJ. He's a stand-up guy with experience in this field, and he's worked hard to minimise international postage, letting us pass those savings on to you. We also have a Clayton Barton exclusive variant cover. This image graces the deluxe edition of the Company Men, Dead, White and Blue, an oversized stuffed through the gills edition filled with concept art, pin-ups, script pages, costume designs, page breakdowns, behind-the-scenes info, and sneak peeks at upcoming Company Men projects. The campaign goes live 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday the 19th on Indiegogo. I want to stress again, the success of this book, its ability to be completed, does not rest on this campaign. This campaign is to raise funds for the publishing and distribution of the comic. As we speak, Kelso Mazzina is already hard at work on the first pages of issue 2. You can back this campaign with confidence. And if you think this Aussie accent makes me sound dodgy and you aren't sure if you want to sink some of your hard-earned money into the Company Men, we also have a more inexpensive digital version available in the campaign. But I'm confident once you see how good this book looks, you won't rest until you have a physical copy in your hands. Thanks for having a look at this campaign, thanks for your consideration and support, and I hope you enjoy reading The Company Men, Dead, White and Blue as much as I did writing it.
All right.
Yeah, that seemed pretty good. Frick. Now it's still the frickin' breath was taken. Good lord.
You know how many trailers there are with that, where people just don't do voiceover? It's a lot.
People seem to, when they watch that trailer, they always come down on one or two sides. Either, hey, that's good, it gave me heaps of information, told me why I should back the book, and man, that was too long. Why did you talk so much? I needed more explosions and cool rock music. So you can't please everyone.
There's definitely I don't want to say we started it, but our trailer when we launched it was around the start of when people started doing the cinematic trailer experiences,
which are fantastic, high energy, and really motivate people who want to back a book. Like, I recognize, that trailer might not be the most frenetic, but I need to get that information to people. When Company Men Dead, White and Blue 2 comes out, I can have a great cinematic trailer with backflips, explosions, and Twin Uzi shooting dolphins. But right now, I need you guys to know that the campaign's done, it's cheap shipping, and it's going to happen no matter what. Like, this is a lock. I need to give that information to the potential backers.
No, you got all the important information here, and I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, you did the thing.
You did the thing. Yeah, I think we're more saying that it's interesting that there's so many differences and preferences of what people want out of the trailers, and then there's trailers themselves seem to go in a phase, the popular style comes and goes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, it's like anything. Like, you see something that works and people emulate it. People saw what big name Comicscape personalities did, and the way they got their show, and the way that they talk about topics and relevant topics, and they emulated that. I really like Just Some Guy's channel, and the way that he has a really even-handed voice when he's speaking, when he talks about stuff. He's very, very calm. So I was doing that at first, and people said, "Man, you're too monotone. You got to mix it up a bit. You got to have a bit more emotion and energy in your voice." And I was slowing my speaking right down, but people seem to prefer it when I talk fast because they get to make fun of me for it, which I don't mind. I've got thick skin. I'm Australian. I've got to have thick skin.
Slow down.
Otherwise, the spiders will get in.
That's right.
God, there's so many spiders.
Yeah.
You ever heard
Magpies.
that old classic Australian song, "There's a redback on my toilet seat when I went there last night"? It's a national treasure. It's a real thing. There's a redback on my toilet seat when I went there last night. I wasn't sure how it got there. Sure gave me a fright. That's a real thing, man. That's like our unofficial national anthem. That and I Come From the Land Down Under, which is like the real national anthem of Australia.
Wait a minute, Redback. Isn't that basically a Black Widow?
Yeah, they're lethal.
Oh, good lord.
Yep.
They're awful. I found one in the shed the other day. I'm just saying to the kids, "No, you guys just stay over there. It's all good. I got this." I like being dad. I'm dad. I'm stay-at-home dad. I love it. Best job I ever had. You guys ever see it? You've probably seen the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead and it's got the bloke who played Alison Dwyer husband in it. His name was And there's a bit where they're talking about what they did before the zombie apocalypse, and what's the best job you ever had? What's the best thing you ever did? And he said, "Oh, Dad was the best job I ever did." And you realize he'd never talked about his family or anything up to that point. You realize he's lost everyone, and here he is holding it together as the leader for these people. And for 1 second, he let slip and said, "Yeah, being a dad was what mattered most to me." I'm like, oh man, that got to me before I was even a dad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Family Guy episode where Brian finds out he's got a son, and he just becomes this huge pussy that cries over everything because he's got. That's it happens, man. It happened to me. I used to be just this angry chip on my shoulder. Now I've got kids. I'm crying over everything. It's ridiculous. Wouldn't change it.
Fair enough. I mean, God.
Say, I raised my kid brother, and I've had a few of those, like those fatherhood moments, but never that part.
Well, I can't even watch stuff with like where kids are treated badly or anything anymore, because you can't help but like transfer that concept. You can't help but say what if, because it's just too much. Like that Family Guy episode was poking fun at it, but all that stuff is 100% legit. If you've ever seen that episode, the way that Brian's just there freaking out over the very possibility that his kid could get hurt, that's what happens to you, man. You just become like this hyper aware dad bot. It's insane.
Okay, then don't watch The Homesman. Even though it stars Tommy Lee Jones, it's pretty graphic, and at one point the lady yeets a fucking baby into a toilet. So yeah.
Couldn't do that.
Whoa. How did we get here again?
We're talking about how great fatherhood is.
Yes.
Keep up, Piper. Come on.
Maybe
watch
just
The Homesman. Don't watch it.
Maybe now is a good time to segue into something else that happened this week that might be fun to talk about. Also, because he would get really mad if I didn't show this.
The ship piloted by The Rock. I mean, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why everybody's mad about this. I'm already excited.
You just know they thought they were being clever. You like this snickering. Carl, come in here. Come and check this out. It's as rock, right? We call it geode. Whoa, they think they're blowing someone's mind.
I feel like that's how like a meeting went. Like,
yeah, it's like, so what are we calling the ship?
Be amazing.
What are we calling a ship? Vessel. Just vessel. What do you think?
So iconic. It'll become so iconic that it won't need a name.
It's like the ship's asexual. It's just vessel. It's not a ship. It's not a spacecraft. It's not a jet. It's not a rocket. It's a vessel. Don't put labels on me, bigot.
There's an exchange from a movie called Clear Skies, specifically Clear Skies 3, that reminds me of this. Like, have you thought of the name for the ship yet? No. Well, you can't just keep calling it the Maelstrom. Like, sometimes you're like, oh, I'm Captain Rourke, the captain of this here ship, and then you read off the hull number.
Yeah. It's like that meme you see with the stormtroopers. They're like, we're not the bad guys. Now let's go back to the Death Star. Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Our other guest is here.
I wonder if there was like a propaganda name for that. Like they were telling the stormtroopers that they were working on like the battle station.
The Freedom Moon.
Morgan Freeman.
Hello.
Miriam.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello. Greetings, citizen. Are you getting enough oxygen?
No. Oh my god, it's like 5 a.m. This is a bummer.
Oh jeez.
Nah, I'm good. Ready to roll.
Well, definitely glad you could be here. We are talking a little bit of Star Wars before we get to your book, because I know you have a book.
Star Wars. I still have a lot of fixed about that.
Yes.
Oh god.
We're specifically discussing the idea of being a creator and then seeing some jackass say, "Yeah, I'm going to write a story where the ship is called Ship and it's piloted by a rock called Rock." I think of all the hours that I painstakingly thought of names for characters, and now I want to kill myself.
Oh man, like
as if Brian Michael Bendis finding out he made that much money on that crappy Superman didn't want to already make me want to take a knife to my wrist.
Let me see.
The concept art makes it worse because it's a slab.
You mean this rock?
Yeah, that rock.
Um,
that one.
I decided to change the concept art a little bit when it came out.
That's nice.
So maybe we should probably change the franchise a little bit, or make some kind of spin-off, King Yoda.
I could live with that because so far I understand why it's the High Republic. Everyone's high on cocaine while they're putting it together.
Well, all these Jedi are also having a lot of sex, like a lot.
Honestly, I don't think it's cocaine. I think it's just meth.
When we're talking that
Low
they are
brow.
getting like a lot of sex, is that like Baby Yoda came?
Yeah.
When else does somebody else's sexuality ever come into it? Like the DC Who's Who, you remember that from back in the 80s and the 90s? They're doing an omnibus. It's on pre-order up on Amazon right now. It's like $200 over here, but I got it because I loved Who's Who as a kid. Can you imagine opening up to being a Batman, name Bruce Wayne, eyes blue, hair black, sexuality super like it was never a thing. It never mattered. You wouldn't have a character profile. I've got character profiles for the company, man, and it's on old scan GI Joe packets, with the photoshopped out all the text, put my own text on there. You got Jura, you got his code name, his powers, how he got his powers, what he, little trivia bit about him, a quote. At no point does the sexuality come into it. What he does with his penis doesn't matter to the story. I don't understand why this guy being asexual matters to the story. Like, that Han Solo was just like this absolute pussy slayer, but it didn't say it in any profile. He didn't talk about it. You just knew from his demeanor. If you can't write that implicitly in the character, forget Star Wars. Get out of all of this media.
You don't understand, in this world, to people that don't actually purchase this product, it is very important they know who's fucking who or what.
It's so sad because you said it like it's a joke, but it's 100% true. That matters to them like life and death. It's oxygen.
Clownfish TV has like a huge chunk of their channel for some reason dedicated to the fact that these people really care a lot who the characters, especially in children's cartoons, are having sex with.
Yeah.
I suppose that links into that whole fan fiction and that, which I've never. I don't know. Like, I figure if I'm going to write something, I'll write my own stuff. I don't want to write Scarlet Witch and fan fiction. I'll just make my own story, whatever. But those sort of things, you have people shipping characters and like wish fulfillment, living vicariously through these characters by saying these guys are having sex with each other or whatever. It's like it's an extension of that. Like they've come to think that's how stories should be told because that's what they're all doing for the last 20 years on the internet. And now that's made its way in. It's, osmosis has made its way into all of this mainstream media, and they think that's what people care about.
Like, remember that guy that got that job on the Powerpuff Girls reboot and animated himself into the show as one of their characters' love interests?
Yes. Oh God, that was so creepy. What the?
I'm just hearing about it. I'm
little
creeped out.
kids. They were going to kindergarten. As far as I know, they're still in kindergarten. Still,
Hold on, Michael Beacon might have cracked the code. To be
Well
fair,
put.
Geode is a perfectly safe character. It won't offend anyone but those with brains, which is not their target audience anymore.
Not unless it's the Mandalorian.
I mean, if you wanted a character made out of rock, why couldn't you do something like the Rockbiter or somebody it's like Ben Grimm?
What's that dude off Thor? That rock guy off Thor? He's fun.
that little dude.
He's a cracker.
Korg, yeah.
Do something like that.
Do you remember the character Dido from Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
Ditto?
Dido. Even that would be okay if it was like a rock character, like rock with eyes and mouth or whatever.
Yeah, it's not like it's not uncommon in sci-fi.
Like, you want a rock with eyes and a mouth? Geodude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with Geodude.
It's just a slab. Like, they couldn't at least give it some kind of interesting, unique shape or anything. It is just
How does it
a
move?
slab.
Do they know how it moves?
Listen. Maybe it's a grand surprise. Maybe the real character we are talking about is inside a rock or behind the rock. Like a grand opening, grand cracking.
The real character was the friends we made along the way.
I was going to say either that or it's an R2 unit with a hologram.
If they wanted to go with this, I think it would have been better off if they just made it the monolith from 2001 and it just kind of floated.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That
is better than what they got. I was going to say, and Greg Thug said it in the chat already. Well, how come nobody talked about Geode's sexuality? How come that didn't come into his profile? Why is it only coming to the other guy's profile? Like, is his being asexual so seminal to his character development, how he reacts to conflict and to other characters that we needed to know about that? Or is it something that could come up implicitly? A girl tries to hit on him, he's like, eh. Guy tries to hit on him, he's like, eh. Rock tries to hit on him, he's like,
we're in a real pickle here. The only way we're getting out of this is if somebody goes and has sex with the pirate queen there. And you guys want to take this? Because I obviously can't, because my character bio says I don't do that.
You could do it subtly if it really is a big part of his character. You know, if you've got to get your character and list 5 important features about them, 5 traits. You know, Superman, strong, honorable, noble, brave, that sort of thing. At no point is heterosexual need to come into it. There's other things that are more important to his story. His sexuality doesn't come through in the story. He's married to Lois, sure, but that says everything.
Yeah,
there's nothing more to be said there. You could do an asexual, spice-loving space pirate implicitly. You don't have to put it in his profile. You don't have to beat people over the head with it.
Yeah, you just know that Geode's fucking playing the pussy. He's the pussy destroyer.
I was about to say they made Geode rock to prevent them from being sexualized or gender bent. I bet you. And I'm like, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make some fan art.
So you just give it
with a bow.
We're gonna have some Rule 34 Geode porn.
we got Geode and Miss Geode.
Never underestimate the internet. That is for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna make them do it. I'm gonna find a way.
Piper, make that geode into a werewolf. I think that would be really interesting.
That would be awesome. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you even think, but like a good writer can make a character that is a different sexuality or what have you, and ultimately it's an element of the character, but it's not something that like you're constantly thinking about. You know, Warren Ellis, I always felt was the master of that.
Yes.
You know, he's like one of the few guys that I look at. He's able to be balanced. He can give you an atheistic character, but to soften the blow or to make it so that he's not coming across as a jerk to anybody who's reading his books that's a Christian, he'll oftentimes make them an unreliable narrator, or he, of course, Apollo and Midnighter. When they were thrashing people in the first 12 issues of The Authority, you didn't really care that much that they were bumming each other, But it was an element that was discussed later on. But it had its place, and it wasn't part of the promotion.
It covered their interactions, but it didn't define them wholly as a character. I think that's the problem. Is these guys are defining the characters wholly by their sexuality to the point where that, like I said, you list 5 points. Like, you're gay. That's the first point. What about the other 4?
Yeah.
I mean, he does stuff and likes things, but he's gay. Have you heard that?
They do it with their writing too. They beat you. That's the only advertising point they have, and then they beat you in the face with it with the writing. It's like, he's gonna save the day. Well, gay.
Yeah, it would be like
the day.
It would be like me advertising 3 Nights 4 Days. It's like, the 3 lead characters are Christians. Well, no shit, they're wearing crosses.
And you could go 3 or 4 issues of Authority without realizing that Midnighter and Apollo were gay. Like, they didn't come up that often. You just think, those guys are very friendly. And probably not think anything more of it until you see one of them give the other one a peck on the cheek. You're like, I get it now.
Yeah.
But did they poop? Did they eat sandwiches?
The burning questions.
You have to realize that this is entirely propaganda from the bottom up, and that they're trying to make sure that that their agenda is first and foremost, and that they are in control of the situation. And
so I got some Geode porn, but I censored it for YouTube.
Oh, good lord! Of course you did, Piper.
Get it, boy.
Those were some stone cheeks spread up wide.
There, that way YouTube won't eat it. I censored the dirty bits.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, that other rock is taking it.
Oh, good lord.
Or are they giving it to each other like slugs?
Oh Lord.
Do some speed lines. Do the movement there.
You know what? Make them drift too. Well,
people wonder why I'm crazy, and I just say, look at the people I hang out with. This should answer everything.
But come on, these people are your type of crazy. Aren't you happy about that?
Sort of. It
Like
depends
right
on the
now,
day.
I would be terribly offended because
They're not as
come on.
crazy as
There's a
Liam.
little
though.
bit of motion. They just rub against each other right there.
Yeah, grinding.
Yeah, literally grinding, and that's how they do it.
Rise and grind.
Just be careful so they don't crumble.
Well, that's how the
Miriam.
babies are made, though.
Speaking of grinding, Nerium has been grinding away at this particular
There we go.
book. Ha!
Nice
Yeah.
segue.
Got it.
We made it.
That's a lot better than what I was going to go with, which was speaking of rock porn. So, yeah.
Wow. I wonder where I should. I should probably have some kind of maybe at least rock music, so it would relink to. But come on, I'm not gonna hide the God in my comic. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Don't you dare.
Don't do it.
Now that you're mentioning like don't you dare, I'm very tempted to actually do it.
See, this is how I work. You got to do the reverse mind control.
That's how he also gets people to have intercourse with a bear.
Don't fuck
Oh
that
shit! Did you actually get someone to do that?
I
I've
should
done it
have
once and
warned
I'll do
you.
it
I should have
again.
warned you that we're on graded point 5 now, and it's actually more fucked up than the episode.
Yeah.
I'm getting an education over here.
It makes
kids
the
don't learn
episode
things.
look like Bible study. So.
Mike's ability to get white women to do things is impeccable. But it's only white women, I've noticed.
It's incroyable, as they say.
I'm almost tempted to challenge him, but it's 5:30 in the morning, so nah.
She might find herself looking for a fucking bear.
You see, I come from a country where when you walk out of the house, there is a high chance you run into like wild boars, and often from like even into a bear. So I don't know. It's kind of common to me. I come up with something better.
Heck, a cougar. Oh God, what an open-ended request that would be.
Cougar would be probably really tough.
There's a 50% chance a big cat shows up.
Yeah, we don't have big cats over here. I would probably have
like
to
those
break
ones.
into some zoo.
So, Miriam, tell us a little bit about your book.
Well, there are no cougars in it, no bear in it. I'm sorry, no wild boars and no rocks. It's some kind of book about werewolves. So, maybe somebody will be interested in that. If like maybe tomorrow I'll make a poll, to put some geodes here and there. And but yeah, this is a werewolf story. It's definitely not your typical werewolf story that you are used to, where you can see the werewolves being like lycanthropic form. They're being like strong monsters, strong, scary fighters that are trying to kill people or attack them. This is taken from a little bit different approach there. We are talking more about about more spiritual thing that you have a wolf soul inside you. While you are in a human form, you have your inner form that you can talk, inner wolf that you can talk to. Lead conversations with. It's a little bit kind of schizophrenic, but I think it's the good part. The good side that you're never alone. You always have somebody to talk to.
So it's only one wolf and not two wolves?
No, come on. Why would you do that?
Because
Well, if you're really schizophrenic, maybe there'd be 2 of them. I mean,
at least one of them is
I
gay.
just got it.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
One.
Come on, guys. Don't be greedy.
'Cause one could be gay, and the other could also be gay. Which
Like,
means
should I implement that in the story? Like I have a gay wolf character, and
Oh,
he's
Lord,
gay
no.
and very gayish.
Right.
And just in case you didn't notice, for the first 10 minutes, he's gay.
and
Yeah,
also,
gay easy.
he likes dudes.
Right now, there are 2 gay wolves inside you. It's about to get weird.
very weird.
Oh God.
But
Oh
anyway,
God. Please no.
So
Come
yeah,
on.
so,
Come on.
okay.
You're blaspheming my story.
Okay, so you have one wolf inside you, and it is a spirit creature that represents your wild side. All right. Okay.
Yes, pretty much. And if you get like under very strong emotions, like I'm getting right now, because you're considering like or you're implementing that I have tools inside of me and both of them are gay. Sometimes they can turn into a wolf.
She's never gonna come back, you guys.
But sometimes it can turn into a wolf. All right, so we see some interior art here. Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's just like a little sample of like random panels that you can find in the story itself. I put a little bit more. I did like actual interior art a little bit lower view under the characters. So it's gonna be a black and white story. It's not gonna be colored because I decided to play with the like heavy shading and hard lights, hard shades a lot to add the drama and the impact for the reader. So instead of using colors, I used shades of gray. So yeah, it's gonna be 72 pages. It's only the first book out of multiple series because I have when I wrote the story, I wrote it into chapters, and so far I covered like 3 chapters out of 60. So yeah, I'm gonna have to shrink the story or squeeze the story into a little bit less chapters probably, or but the story is very organic. So I already started thumbnailing. I have thumbnailed book number 2 already, and it's going to be another 72 to 78 pages. It's going to again cover another few chapters, but I did a little bit little alternations here and there. So like I said, I don't have the story written from A to Z like an actual script. I just have a general overview of each chapter and what I would like to happen in the chapter, and I just write it as we go, as I feel it, and I think it goes really well. I don't know. I kind of go with my guts, and so far it goes really well.
Yeah,
That's
you're the
pretty good.
writer and artist for this, right?
Yeah. I did pretty much the same for the campaign. Even the layouts, as you can see it. So in case anyone needs help, to prepare their campaign visually, I'm willing to help. I'm ready to help. No problem with that. The only thing I wasn't capable doing myself is actually building a campaign page because I come from a country where right now it's 5:37 in the morning, and Indiegogo apparently didn't like that. So I had to ask someone in the States to help me like build the campaign on its own, because in case if I didn't find someone, I wouldn't be here. So I wouldn't be able to get this comic out to people. So I asked Brad Gaze, he's my friend. And yeah, he agreed that he would help me run it. So that's why on the top of the page you can see Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this art is really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long
But-
have you been doing this, Miriam?
Well, when we are talking about drawing in general, maybe scribbling and drawing and sketching and doodling. When I was 3, I think I started when I was 3. But the first time I got my first graphic tablet was like 9 years ago. That's also the time when I built my DeviantArt account. But honestly, I never did a comic before. There were some attempts here and there because I was very interested in the comic-ish inking style. So I often did some pictures on paper like that, but I never came up with the idea to do like actual story with it. So what I did was just some random character designs, or commissions in a way, like scenes people like to see, but usually those characters. And after some time, I developed a story of my own. I just didn't know how I want to get it out, so I started writing it a little bit and make some concept art to it. And then it just hit me like, come on, girl, like you can draw, like just draw it. So that's how basically I started doing bonds. But it was 2020 when I started, and it was I think April, when I started doing the very first concept art. That's where you can, if you can see the prints and the stretch goals to it and everything. That's all the concept art I was able to come up with. There's even more because there's going to be a lot more characters. But the actual first chapter of the comic itself came out as a webtoon comic by the end of July. So I'm a teacher, so I was heavily relying on the fact that I had like a summer break. I had 2 months to work on that. So I was able to push 4 characters of around 20 pages, like 20 pages per month. So that's how I got like 72 pages in a range of 4 months out. I was really excited about it. I have to admit that whenever I came from work, I was just, drawing all day, every day, pretty much.
Oh no, he's doing it.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just wait for it because you're probably going to be doing that with another book. Right now she's 15. Calm down, calm your tits.
Calm down. Mike, she's 15.
Woo! Right now, these arts is like a teaser. So what she's gonna be like in a few years. So
Mike Trudeau's liberal, but he might not be that liberal.
Are you sure?
Right.
I mean, he is Cuban.
Oof. Big oof. All right, let's go over some of your tears.
I'm having so many tears right now.
Yeah.
Let's go over these tears before you swear never to come back.
No problem. That's no problem for me. I just warn people, because I got a question whether there's gonna be like sexual part to the story, and I always tell another teaser to people, yes, there's gonna be like in the later series when she's old enough and she finds her love interest. I don't plan to go. Then maybe I will go a little bit censored, but
No.
I just want to tell the story as it is, like in reality, So there's definitely gonna be scenes here and there because I think that's a part of life. So there.
Touching peepees is parts of life. So we have
Oh shit.
we have a physical copy and 2 art prints. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the featured tier. It's called Ita Warrior because this story heavily relies on the hierarchy of the pack, and I divided the hierarchy into the ranks. As you already know, I'm pretty sure you know ranks like Alpha, Beta, or Omega, but there are more. There are more, and each rank has their own ability, weaknesses, strengths. Some perk that is very special to them that the other rank doesn't have. So these are Itas, these are the warriors, these are the like fighters, the like army, So that's the featured tier. Also, if you sign up for a mailing list, there's going to be like a 3rd mini print coming along in the package, and we also crossed a few stretch goals. So I think like for this price, it's going to be a pretty nice bundle.
Are your stretch goals listed further down?
Yeah, they're on the bottom of the page. So maybe after we go.
Let me pop down there. There we go.
All right. So there's definitely gonna be a bookmark. Maybe for later purposes when you, like I said, I would like this to be a big series. Yeah. So maybe somebody who gets the series with like 3 books or so, and because they're gonna get a bookmark to it, maybe it's become useful. I don't know. Then there is this trading card, which I think is really special to me at some point because with the book number 1, you're gonna get the alpha trading card with the description of what the alpha really does in my story, what are the abilities of my alphas. With book number 2, you're gonna get the beta. With book number 3, you're gonna get another rank. So with the last book of the story that's gonna come out, you will have I would like to keep this as a tradition, and you will have a collection of all the ranks of bonds, with their abilities, what they can do. So whenever you read the story, and you don't feel it's clear enough, you can always flip the trading card and find it there. So that's it. Then we have another art.
Mike, is this one also 15, or is this the?
No. This is the proper age. No. Like all the colored art that you can see is in her like legal age, so you can go simping over that. That's not a problem. Yeah, and we are almost at the day's stretch goal. That's another mini print. So basically, if we reached it and you signed up for the mailing list, you're gonna be getting like total 5 mini prints and 4 of them are very sexy. So I think all 5 of them are kind of sexy. So it should be okay. Yeah, and then there is like this ultimate last one, 13K Madman mini comic stretch goal. People often ask me like, what does this Madman has in common with the werewolf story? You see, there are 2 panels attached to it that are reading that the newest Madman issue has arrived because my main characters, Lena, her brother is a huge fan of comics. And the series that he's actually reading inside of my story, it's called Madman. So Red Gaze, just yesterday, he sent me the script for the actual Madman mini comic. And so when we reach the 13K, I'm going to draw it and put it in the back of the story so people will get to read what Jesse is reading in the story. So it's like a comic within a comic.
So, Tales of the Black Freighter here, then.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's this? Open the locked door of the wolf den.
Well, I still have a lot of art and a lot of things to produce. Come on, people! I'm just being so busy and like in a positive meaning. That I just want to give things to people. So even now I was thinking of adding some kind of in between stretch goal, to make it for people so they can get even more. Originally the 8K stretch goal, it was black and white, but I decided that if we pass like 9K, that I would color it so people could get a colored version. So yeah, there's always a space to play with what people would like to see and get. So it's a secret for now.
Okay. It's our next tier, the puppy tier.
Yeah, the puppy tier is digital version in PDF. Well, it's mostly for people outside of US because the shipping is a killer. So, but there are also some people who like to read their comics in digital form. For example, like me, I was used to read all the mangas that I got in digital version. I actually got my very first comic when I came into here in this community, and it was The City of Venus from Vinny Taramella. So that's also a kind of bummer, that I didn't read too much before, like in a printed form, because it's really something else. So yeah, that's digital. And then we have like a single copy of a book which is called Big Bad Wolf. There's just a book like now, and the stretch goals, of course, but there are no prints attached to it. Then we have the Wolf Twins. Wolf Twins are in case you want to save some money for shipping, and there is a little discount in case you want to buy a book for a friend. So this is the 2 wolves. This is the 2 wolves in one person, just in case you didn't know. And neither of them is gay.
Oh, well then. Excellent.
Okay. And then we have that general. We have already 11 out of 15 claimed. This is a book with 2 mini prints, but it comes along with a traditionally drawn sketch card, and each sketch card is very, very unique. Like completely unique. So there are like no 2 sketch cards that are the same. It's like original art made by markers. So it's like a collectible, maybe. I don't know if some people are interested in that. I was really excited when I was drawing that. I remember just sitting in StreamYard and talking to friends while I was drawing them, and I just remember that like almost all of them I managed to get in during one day, because I was really excited by the fact that I can do that, and I just like drawing. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we even had some.
Whoops.
Yeah, continue.
Well, at least I'm not logged in.
Nah, I'm just kidding. What I'm really surprised about is we had a Gamma Wolf. I think it was number 11. That was still going even yesterday. So I guess somebody snatched it up. But these Gamma tiers, originally when we started the campaign, it was only Gamma from 1 to 3. But they were gone like in the first day, so I decided to add more. And these are all traditionally inked, and it's a bigger format than a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
We have different sizing over here in Europe. It's called A4. I don't know, guys, if you know that one, but it's an A4 size. You can check it out. And again, it goes with one piece of that. And maybe see that's the thing. When I say something is out, and if I'm just gonna ask if people want it, and if people still want it and are interested in seeing this type of art, I'm just gonna do more. Maybe I'm gonna draw two more in following days. So just be sure to check it out. Maybe there's gonna be a picture you like. Because, for example, this Gamma Wolf 11, it was sitting there for a few days, and I was really surprised by that. But again, people don't know the story yet. But this traditional art is kind of special because it's a little bit foreshadowing when it comes to the future of the story. So maybe the owner who got this tier, when he or she, or let's not go into genders too much, when they read the story later on, they come across this point of the story, and they will look at their artwork and see, oh, so this is it. I'm so glad I got it. So yeah, let's see.
What is this?
Yeah, that's a drawn in tier. Like in case you felt like a big alpha male, you could be like a drawn in character, because I'm gonna show you if I can. I'm gonna share the screen. I have a area. I even built a map for the whole thing. So I have a land of werewolves with 5 strong packs. That made some kind of union. They are called the Sapphire packs. And these 4 that you can see here, the biggest one, they are like original. They were always there. But since we already know that humans are greedy race, and also there are some other hostile werewolf packs that were constantly wanting to attack these nice guys. They are nice guys. They have everything. They have peace. They have prosperity, and apparently some people didn't like it. Some people wanted it. So what they did was create a 5th pack. It's artificially created, and they are like defender packs. They serve for the sole purpose of defending the area. They are supported by the rest of the 4 packs. So they are not really worried about not having anything to eat, or not having, like financial support or whatever, but they make sure that there are no intruders. So their daily bread, daily work job is very dangerous, because they need to patrol. And often there are cases when when there is an intruder stronger than you fight, you get wounded, you get even killed. So yeah, it happens. And sometimes there's an intruder that you never expected, and that's another foreshadowing for the future books, because there's going to be a really strong danger, let's put it that way. So yeah, our main heroine Lena, who decides that she wants to become the future PAX Alpha, because during one of these attacks that happened over here, she lost her parents, and Jesse, who we already covered later, earlier. I'm sorry. He's the only person she got left alone. Also the grandparents, but he's like a main family. He's like a main thing to her, and she just wants him safe, and that's why she decides to become the strongest werewolf. So she can prevent these wars, so she can fight, so she can make sure that everybody's safe. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. You have
Nice.
a trailer as well.
Say it again.
You have a trailer, right?
Yep. An awesome trailer, again, created by Red Gaze. There
Let's
are
have a
like
look.
two.
There you
Two
have two
of them,
trailers.
Mhm. The first one was in a mailing list.
Yeah.
Damn.
Very mysterious.
Yeah, that animated logo was really nice.
Yep.
I like it.
He did a great job with the trailer, and there is a hidden meaning to it. So, but I think when people read the book and they accidentally play the trailer one more time, they will understand the hidden meaning there. But right now, they maybe don't see it yet.
Is this one different from the other one?
Yeah, a little bit, but mostly it's kind of similar. So it's shorter. It was for mailing list, so the second one is like extended.
Okay, let's do that one real quick.
The Alpha. I can almost see the hints of it just from the name of the comic book and all that. But heck.
Yeah, I think you can guess.
Yeah.
I think you can guess because the meaning of bonds has like quite several meanings for the story. So
Very layered here.
I don't know if I should spoil it or let everyone find their own type of bonds in the story, and that's probably what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, just let people figure this stuff out because I'm liking what I'm seeing. I mean, it's pretty good. Frick.
Yeah, thank you. Just I really wonder how people will react when they actually read the book, come to an end. And I would really love to get feedbacks in a way like I want to read more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that was the original purpose for me to come and actually tell the story over here. Like I said, originally I started on webtoons because I didn't know better, didn't know how to do it with because of my country. I'm really happy that I found a way. I know that there are some people who prefer it in a non-printed way, but I'm just so excited and so surprised that there are so many people that want it in their printed way. You know,
We lost Piper. I think she was drooling too much and shorted out her router.
Probably shorted out the router, but yeah, I mean, it's a good project so far. I mean, you got all this. I mean, you're writing, you're doing the artistry. I mean, good.
Yeah, and another very positive thing that you probably didn't know yet, the book is finished. So what I'm doing now, only because I already mentioned this fact earlier, is we have different formatting. So I decided to reformat it into from the magazine size into typical American standard comic size. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just reformatting the pages. About the art itself, the whole 72 pages is completely done. Also the lettering is completely done, so the book is actually ready to go when I'm done with changing the sizes.
Nice. But doing the art and the story yourself, a lot of people don't do that, and it's definitely going to work out well for you because that just means that most of this is going to be profit.
I mean, goodness.
Obviously minus your print and ship costs, but the majority of that's going to be profit.
Yeah, see, that's another thing where I was really uneducated when I started the whole thing. I really didn't know that there are like people that are divided according to sketching, inking, coloring, lettering. I really thought that most of the artists do it like all, that you can do everything,
Well, it depends on the size of the team, right? I mean, with major productions, you can have one of everything, or in our case, we have one colorist, one lineman, two writers, and one editor, and that's a big enough team for us, for crying out loud. Holy fuck.
I don't say that like a negative thing, negative feature. I just didn't know. That's the whole thing. I didn't know. That's why I never relied on anybody else trying to help me with this, because I just went with, okay, girl, you can do it, and you're gonna do it. So I did it. So.
And so far, you're fucking doing it. I mean, good lord.
Big respect.
Thank you very much.
The small clap, maybe a big one too.
Golf clap.
Yeah, frick. Anyway,
yeah, it's it can be a rough game sometimes, and sometimes it's such that going through like the big boys or one of the even the smaller mainstream publications, you're just not going to do it because one thing or another, or you just don't know the right people, or maybe there's some dues paying that has to be done. It's really weird, especially now. As I understand, where the old systems don't even work anymore, where you just get in when you check the right boxes, and just being able to just go and do it yourself because you can, and there's nothing stopping you from doing it yourself. That's
Yes, believe it or not, but before Bond's campaign actually came out, I had a talk with my friends, like we are here on StreamYard, just privately, just discussing like how to do it and how it's gonna be, how it's gonna go, and we were just having fun talking about how maybe how many backers this project could have, and I was just I was hoping we could have like 30. So I get the funds covered, at least to get it printed and maybe to get it to people, at least few people who would like to read it in the printed form. And they were like, girl, nah. And I was like, you'll see. So yeah, it's already exceeded by like leaps and bounds, and I'm still surprised about that because I never expected this outcome. So that's why I'm kind of happy that I come from a humble family, humble country, because even when I come with book number 2, I'm just gonna be happy if it gets funded and I will be able to get it to people. I didn't come here to earn huge case. I came here to tell a story, and I'm gonna say that at every stream I get because it's like that, and I have nothing to hide. You can ask me pretty much anything. The only reason why I'm not on camera right now, because on most of the streams I'm also on the camera, but right now I look like
someone that just woke up at 5 in the
yeah.
That's
And was too lazy to get dressed and comb their hair, and yeah. Like my secret plan is actually to try to snatch a few more till my actual day starts. So that's why I didn't.
No, that's okay.
I think it's been what, 2 hours ish.
Yeah, we've been going for a while now. It's actually probably about time that we call it a night.
I mean, we lost Piper, and bless her heart, she's tired as well, and this poor lady's tired as well. And I think this Australian guy, this Bruce-looking motherfucker, he's probably all over the place as well.
Oh, it's all right, but it is nearly dinner time. I'm gonna go put dinner on for the kids
Yeah,
soon.
see,
So
look,
it's probably
yeah.
He needs to go feed his chitlins.
I gotta shoot a roo and prep it. Start
Alright.
a fire pit. Start a hungy. It's a big job.
Yeah,
There you go.
You guys ever had kangaroo?
Not
I
yet.
have not.
No.
Definitely an acquired taste. A lot of people over here don't like it, but I think it's fantastic. It's really lean. It's high in protein. It's got a really strong flavor. But if you do try it as like a sausage or something, as opposed to just like a chunk of steak or mince or whatever. It's really nice in a sausage.
Yeah, I remember there was one time, like a week over here, when there was a certain shop that offered it as something very special, like kangaroo meat, like steaks.
Mhm.
I remember people bought it. I think it went out the first day that it came out because they promoted it heavily. You know, I actually didn't get into that because I don't know.
It's very dense. It's a very strong flavor. It's not something you could have a big serve of. It's not something you'd really want to have every day. But the indigenous people, they eat it really differently. They'll dig a hole, wrap it up, put it in a fire pit, let the hot coals cook it, and they leave the fur on and everything. And then they will take it out, split the fur open, and pour heaps and heaps of salt on it. Just douse it in salt, and they let it sit on there and sort of like dissolve the fat and work into the meat, and then they'll just eat that right off the bone. Traditionally. There's over 200 indigenous nations, so there's 200 different ways to eat it. But that's one way that it's they split it and they cover it in salt and they let it sit for a bit, and then they'll eat sort of the mushy meat and fat that's underneath.
Have you ever heard of Icelandic fermented shark?
I've not.
They have something like that when they take the meat from a shark and they actually they ferment the whole thing.
Yeah, they stick a whole shark in a really dark place for like 6 months to a year, and then it gets really, really, really tender and soft. But at the same time, you're eating rotting shark.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, the world is a strange place.
very strange.
Now,
Yes.
the weird thing is that in order for that to become a regular meal, somebody had to figure that out.
Yep.
The
I often
corn
think
is
that
my
about some of these crazy foods. Who was the first guy to go, that fish is rank, man. That is rotten. It's just
Oh,
falling.
God, it's been in the back of the fridge for how long?
How much salt did you put in that thing? Let's eat it and see how it tastes. Because
Honestly, if
looking at that-
you're living on a tiny island, stranded away from everything, and had little choice because Iceland is very well known for not having too much of a fauna. I don't know.
You'd have to be hungry. It's a bit like yogurt. Like, who was the first guy to get all the way across the desert and go, man, I'm going to check on that milk I brought with me. Whoa, this is off. Pass me a spoon. Let's try this puppy out. I don't know.
Keep an eye on me, bros. I'm going in.
Yeah, that's right. If I don't make it back, tell my wife and children I love them.
Anyway, I want to thank you both for coming in and hanging out with us.
Thanks for
Links to
having
their
us, man. It's
books
good.
are in the chat or in the details in the description below. Don't forget to check out our book, Peregrine, which you only have a couple weeks left to get this. We are taking this off the market very soon.
Mhm.
Yep.
This is also your last chance to get that sweet, sweet painting.
Mm-hmm. Now look at it.
Look at it. If you can't see it there, this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
painted by the incredibly talented Preston Acevedo. I would know. I've hired him.
What did you hire him on, Micah?
I hired him for a book called 3 Nights, 4 Days, Part 1,
Nice segue.
which is also on Indiegogo and is almost finished. So that one won't be on the market that much longer either. And the Part 1 will never be printed again the way that I'm doing it. So if you have not picked it up yet, we still have original art for sale and stuff like this. It's an often imitated but never duplicated, especially not the same quality, book, to say the least.
Michael, where's the digital tier, mate? You're killing me. How am I going to review your book without a digital tier?
I guess you're just going to have to buy the book, dude.
I think if we do digital on this one, I didn't on this one, and I noticed that I did lose quite a few backers. So all of my books in the future will be digital. But I think that when we do digital, we'll probably do it for like a collected edition of 3 Nights, like the whole shebang. So
yeah, cool. All right. Well, I'll grab that. And I love reviewing books. It's an absolute passion and interest of mine. But if it's not digital, like I got Xenotype, I got a review and I loved it. And I can't wait to say good things about it. But I don't know how I'm going to review it physically. It's such a thick book. It's a thick book. I have to have like the camera in one hand and hold the book open with the other. It's a mess.
I have it right behind me, and it's actually it's as big as my Alan Moore Wildcats collection. Yeah. Which is to say, actually, I'll turn my camera on just to kind of show people.
You guys are lucky you got your copies of Xenotype. I'm still waiting on mine.
So here, for comparison, here's my Alan Moore Alan Moore collection. Here's Xenotype. And just so people know that it's not a picture of a comic, because that accusation has been thrown around, it is indeed a book.
Yeah.
Multiple pictures.
It is very, very good.
It is. It really is. I got nothing but good things to say about it. It's dense, it's heavy, it's involved, it's emotional. And even as someone who's not into anime and manga, which I've professed many, many times, I see so many little ways where he did a tip of a hat to there's certain things, certain conventions that even I recognize as someone who's not a fan of those pieces of media. So anyway, it's going to be a very positive review. I just got to find a way to do it with the physical book.
There's also there's a nod to both Inglewood and Peregrine in it. Specifically at least I don't know if it's in the black and white, but in the colored version, that's actually one of Felix's posters, is the same poster from the Peregrine campaign.
Oh, that's cool.
Dang.
Which everyone that purchases the book gets for free.
Yes.
ABS, always be shilling.
Yes.
Exactly.
Anyway, as I said, check out in the description below. We've got links to Bonds and Company Med, Den White and Blue. I want to thank you both for coming out and hanging out with us, especially as late as it is. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Happy to come on any other time.
Yeah.
Okay, and I want to thank Micah for coming in and filling in for Optipops, who will hopefully be back next week.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed, and glad to do it as always.
Well, thank you everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, and thank you very much for having me on.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Tom Boy.
That didn't solve much.